take the Rams out of the Super Bowl and put the Saints in right now. I mean, there's and I understand people want to hold grudges and whatnot, but you just got to let that stuff go. I mean, that's sports, and then unfortunately, the Saints got screwed, and it is what it is. But as a fan, I mean, eventually got to let that stuff go, I think.
Yeah, well, you do, I think, eventually, but it also becomes part of the fabric of the franchise in a way.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing for the Saints is they have won one. So they have a Super Bowl title. That city knows what it's like to win. But this thing will play on forever. Along with that Super Bowl championship, they'll look back on this and be like, well, they got robbed. We got robbed. I mean, there are billboards here in Atlanta saying we got robbed.
Yeah.
I mean, New Orleans has gone out of their way to do that. And just like Jacksonville, until they win a Super Bowl, Miles Jack wasn't down or just the complete failure to finish the game against New England, whether it's bad calls or bad play, will live on. I mean, that's what happens in our sports culture, sports world. And actually, that's, in a weird way, a little bit of the beauty of it, too.
Yeah.
So we'll see where this goes. We might have a solution, and that's the bigger thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said it the day after. We need a solution. What's going to come out of this Roger Goodell news conference? Will it be a solution? Well, he didn't necessarily deliver the solution, but there is a report from ESPN, Adam Schefter, today that had a potential solution. We're going to talk about that and why you can, in my opinion, put to bed what I always thought was a dumb rumor anyway, but nobody wants to believe it, especially outside of Jacksonville. Let's stop the London talk for a long, long time. And I think Roger Goodell gave us a hint at why earlier today. We'll talk about that next as we kick off a Wednesday on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 from Super Bowl 53.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Hi, my name is Connor. I live at the Rodeheaver Boys Ranch with about 50 other boys. We come to the ranch because we can't live at home or we just don't have one.
Rodeheaver Boys Ranch doesn't receive any government support for childcare and raises funds by auctioning off donated vehicles every month. If you have a boat, car, motorcycle, RV, truck, or tractor in any condition, Google Boys Ranch Palatka to donate. If you don't have a vehicle, cash donations are accepted. Google Boys Ranch Palatka.
Remember, it's better to build boys than to mend men.
Taking a drive to date night, or taking a drive for the kids to get to school, or how about taking the kids to practice? Do all of that in a new Hyundai from the new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on the new ESPN 690, and our family loves our Hyundai Santa Fe. The new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville is now open for business. This new state-of-the-art Hyundai dealership was built from the ground up with you in mind. No matter what you do, day to day, take a drive with Hyundai. They offer a lifetime warranty that is good anywhere in the United States. And along with the low prices, exceptional service, and lifetime warranty, you know what else they have? A no-risk, no-pressure approach. If you are not 100% satisfied, you may return your vehicle in the first 7 days for your money back. The Hyundai you want, the service you deserve, all with Jenkins' exclusive lifetime warranty, no matter where you drive to. Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville.
It's time for some straight talk. I'm ready for it. You want the best coverage, right?
Of course. Don't want the QB throwing any deep bombs.
I'm talking about coverage on your smartphone, Wingo.
Oh, I get you now. I want the best nationwide coverage then.
Well, you'll get it with Straight Talk. The same great 4G LTE networks as big guys for up to 30% less.
Man, you got to grab that deal and run with it.
Take it to the house.
With nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks, get the Straight Talk $45 unlimited plan with 15 gigs of high-speed data. Only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Golic, did you know that Gatorade Zero has all the same electrolytes but with zero sugar?
I did know that because I drank some Gatorade Zero after I ran 2 miles at the gym this morning.
2? Please, I ran 3.
Did I mention I also was on a 6 incline?
You didn't, but that's interesting because that's 2 less than I was on.
Were you also running backwards? Because I was.
No.
Gatorade Zero, all the electrolytes with zero sugar, so you can get more out of zero.
All offers are with approved credit and not a conjunction. See dealer for details. Start something new sales event.
If you need a new car, truck, or SUV and think you can't afford it, you can. At Jacksonville, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Arlington. Start the year right with a brand new Ram truck. We've got the best selection and guarantee you the best deal. Buy now and save up to $12,000 off MSRP. $12,000. Drive the very popular Jeep Cherokee starting from just just $19,988. With hundreds of Jeeps in stock every day, we'll have the one you want. Save $4,000 on a new Compass or Wrangler Unlimited. Get a new Renegade starting at just $16,988. Save up to $9,000 on Chrysler 300. Our lenders want to make you a new car loan today. 100% credit approval is our goal all month long. Get the new car, truck, or SUV you really want. Jacksonville, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Arlington. Fast and friendly service you can count on. 9600 Atlantic Boulevard, across from the Regency Square Mall.
Built with the biggest names in sports, all on one radio station. Golick and Wingo, Dan Lebitard, Stephen A. Smith, and Action Sports Jack's Brent Martineau every afternoon. Plus, SportsCenter updates at the top and bottom of every hour. And major breaking news in sports when it happens. Make us your only button for sports. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. The all-new ESPN 690. This is Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Fat, I don't care. It's tough that professionals they have a tough time tackling me. So everybody who has the comments, just meet me in the hole one day. Let's see if that works out for you.
Meet me in the hole one day. That's a good response from C.J. Anderson, the big Rams running back, who, by the way, was really just let go by two teams. And now all of a sudden is here at the Super Bowl. You got to love those stories for some. I mean, we talk about Dante Fowler, could have been on a 5-11 team that was home early, and now he's playing for Lombardi Trophy. C.J. Anderson, and he's had a heck of a workload. And this kind of mystery injury of Todd Gurley, I mean, not exactly what it is, but how severe, because he dresses, he starts, he goes to play, and then all of a sudden he's not in there a bunch, and you know it's because of injury. If you're going to use a back, you're not going to put C.J. Anderson over Todd Gurley. But Anderson has done the job. And I think it's tough for teams, Austin, because you're used to Gurley's style. You prepare for Gurley's style, and then all of a sudden you get this big Natron Means kind of back that you have to – that's a different kind of style of guy that you have to be ready for, and you thought you might only need to be ready for maybe 4 or 5 times a game. Now all of a sudden he's coming at you 15, 18, 20 times a game.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, we're talking Todd Gurley. Here's a guy who's great in space. You can throw him balls. You can toss it. You can do whatever you want with Todd Gurley. C.J. Anderson, you know, probably not going to catch too many balls out of the backfield, but at the same time, this is a guy that can run between the tackles, lower his shoulder, deliver a hit. And anytime you have one of those guys on the team, you know, you definitely have to game plan for it. And, you know, being a player who played against Brandon Jacobs with the New York Giants, man, going against those tough bruisers, man, it takes a toll on your body for sure.
And obviously Derrick Henry is that way now for Tennessee. I mean, it's just a different style. And I guess Natron Means is kind of who you remind, like, right? Body type wise, exactly. that big dude. And I mean, Jerome Bettis, right? We've seen Bettis here this week, and he's got that bowling ball kind of style, and it's not the most fit guy that you don't associate with, but interesting way to handle the question about being a little bit on the heavier side as a running back. You know, I think it's kind of fun. Doesn't feel, it brings like a fun element. Of that big guy running the ball and doing it so well.
Well, and especially at that position. You know, I mean, obviously you're going to see big guys on the defensive and offensive lines, but, you know, at a more skill position like, you know, playing the running back, having that body type. I mean, as Jerome Bettis, remember from my childhood and whatnot, but you don't always see that. I mean, you're kind of used to seeing guys like Ezekiel Elliott, you know, wearing the crop tops all the time, showing off the abs a little bit. So having C.J. Anderson come in, it's kind of refreshing, actually.
All right, let's talk more about the Commissioner Roger Goodell and his news conference. That's a big story here on the Wednesday because it just got done, and I don't really think there were these enormous headlines. Once again, we just said it, but I'm telling you, it was some 80% of the conversation about the Saints game a couple weeks ago, and I think people want to hear from Goodell. We talked about this all last week. They just want to hear, like, I'm sorry, and here's how we're going to fix it. I don't really think they heard that. I think he basically said we were sorry. That's why we called and all the communication, and we are going to look at things. So that's translated to, hey, we're going to try to fix it, and we don't want to see it happen. But he also talked at length about the human element of football. And the human element is going to exist, and they're not going to have robots out there making these calls. But one thing that has been proposed from Adam Schefter, he reported this earlier in the day, and I want to see if anybody likes it here or not. But the idea that a coach could challenge a judgment call, because I thought Goodell brought up a good point. The one thing that made that situation tough is there was no flag thrown. Mm-hmm. We forget that element. It wasn't like they threw a flag, took it away, or threw a flag and it was the error in judgment was by throwing the flag. Mm-hmm. They never made a call. So the proposal is, whether they throw a flag or not, the coach challenges it on a judgment call, and if the coach is wrong, if they don't view that it was absurd, and in this case they wouldn't have, maybe there's a runoff of time or a flag gets thrown against the team, like it or not.
It's like you said, I mean, we definitely have to have some kind of solution. At the moment, I think that's probably the best solution you can come up with. You know, I mean, if you can throw that flag and challenge the call, I'm all for it. And I know there's going to be argument, well, it stops the flow of the game. But at the end of the day, I mean, between commercial breaks, between timeouts, an extra 20 seconds or whatever to throw a challenge flag, challenge that call is not going to, affect the flow of the game that much. So from that standpoint, I really don't see any drawbacks to having that rule. I really don't.
Well, here's the deal. I don't mind. I think it would be interesting. I don't feel like it's too gimmicky. I think we could get used to it. Remember, hey, these red challenge flags felt gimmicky at the times, and we're now used to that, right? Yeah. We get used to these things. I don't care about pace of play. Mm-hmm. I think the pace of play thing is I think it's a lazy excuse often. One, should we do replay quicker? Most likely we should. Because you know why we should do replay quicker? Because of what I always say. We should be using replay when you have to jump out of this seat and say that was a bad call. That, in my opinion, is where replay should be used. Not, did the nose of the football maybe touch the ground? I think like that Edelman play that got reviewed in the AFC Championship game, I don't think that's what replay should be used for. That slows the game down. Now, were they right? Yes. But these are judgment calls. You're going to miss them. You know how many holding calls they miss? They miss a lot of them. Mm-hmm. The cameras and the TV audience has made it all different from that perspective. Did they get the call right? Yeah, and I know that's the main goal as much as possible. But my suggestion is, once again, and I don't think this is putting too much big brother into the NFL, is to just say, New York, I've got 2 guys assigned to
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds, and most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
Or if that resume was from someone who
worked 12-hour shifts at the recycling company with my dad, who's 72. That taught me a work ethic that I carry with me every day.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone.
Growing up where I did, a lot of things could have gotten in the way of my goals. But I learned to push through, and that's what I bring to work every day.
So maybe it's time we look beyond the resume and look to Grads of Life. Discover new ways to develop great talent that are so much more than what's on paper at gradsoflife.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter update.
I'm Aaron, and the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell under fire still for the missed call in the NFC Championship game that cost the Saints a trip to Atlanta. It's possible a new rule could be made this offseason by the competition committee, but Goodell says the issue's been debated for nearly 20 years and nothing has changed.
They have not voted for that in the past. It doesn't mean that we won't. It's something that we're going to put to the competition committee. But the reality is that's been at least an opposition philosophically for many clubs.
We're now 4 wake-ups away from Super Bowl Sunday, which you can find this weekend live on CBS47 Action News Jax. The NFL rumor mill is churning a little bit harder today after a reported lunch between Jets All-Pro safety Jamal Adams and Le'Veon Bell's agent. Adams denies he was doing any recruiting, despite publicly tweeting already that Bell should make his way to New Jersey. And for what it's worth, Steelers star wideout Juju Smith-Schuster on ESPN earlier today, he says he'd love to have Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown back in the huddle for 2019. The Warriors and Lakers do battle on the hardwood this Sunday night right here. Tip-off at 8 p.m. on ESPN 690.
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds, and most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
Or if that resume was from someone who
Worked 12-hour shifts at the recycling company with my dad, who's 72. That taught me a work ethic that I carry with me every day.
we rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone.
Growing up where I did, a lot of things could have gotten in the way of my goals. But I learned to push through, and that's what I bring to work every day.
So maybe it's time we look beyond the resume and look to Grads of Life. Discover new ways to develop great talent that are so much more than what's on paper at gradsoflife.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
The choice of where to have your baby has just gotten better. With Jacksonville's newest, most modern labor and delivery suites, UF Health North is quickly becoming the go-to place for new moms. Here you'll find spacious, comfortable rooms, top medical care, and a great experience that will make your special day even better. UF Health North, the better choice for your baby's great start. Learn more by visiting north.ufhealthjacks.org/babies.
Introducing Salt Life Lager, the perfect beer for those who live the salt life. Salt Life Lager is also the perfect beer for those who live the outdoor life, the beach life, the fishing life, the festival life, the boat life, the yacht life, the tailgate life, the stay home and relax life, even the sit around and talk about life. In fact, Salt Life Lager is the perfect beer for just about any life, starting with yours. Salt Life Lager, a salty state of mind. Available now at ABC Liquors, Publix, and Winn-Dixie locations. Visit saltlifebeer.com for more information. Must be at least 21 to drink. Please drink responsibly.
Parents, there's a better option for your child's development and education. Seacoast Christian Academy is a private school here in Jacksonville that offers challenging and engaging educational opportunities. Focused on a college preparatory curriculum that is backed by strong Christian values, they take on children as young as a year old through 12th grade. Right now, Seacoast Christian Academy is enrolling students who have the Step Up Scholarship. Step Up is an income-based scholarship program that most don't realize they qualify for. And Seacoast Christian Academy is accepting applications right now. For more information, call them or click SeacoastChristianAcademy.com.
At World Imports, we're car people. We love cars. If you're in the market for a luxury pre-owned automobile, we can help. We don't just sell you a car. We help you select your car, the car you've been dreaming about. No gimmicks here, no free TVs, and we won't put your car in a new age vending machine. Audi, BMW, Infiniti, Mercedes, or any other high-end pre-owned automobile, view our inventory at worldimportsusa.com. We'll find the car that makes the most sense for your style and budget. Visit us today at worldimportsusa.com.
From the NBA to the NFL, we've got you covered. The worldwide leader in sports. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. This is ESPN 690.
You watch Action Sports Jax on CBS47 and FOX30. Now Action Sports Jax is on your radio.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
Here's your host, Brent Martineau.
All right, I'm getting my money back, Austin Lane. I'm getting my money back.
Did you keep the receipt?
I think I do have it.
I mean, I get it. We're at the Super Bowl, but when it comes to the internet, it's like the toilet bowl of internet. Like I don't know if we're like on dial-up or what the deal is, but
no, we're not.
I think they would have been ready for this.
And we're not the only ones having some issues with it too. Some folks have had some issues with the Ethernet line that they gave us. So we're hoping it works. We're trying some other methods too, but so sorry, dropped out there for a moment, but hopefully we'll be rocking and rolling from here on out. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane on a Radio Row. And, you know, listen, I say it all the time, business picks up on Wednesday, and it really has. And so the place is buzzing a little bit more. Still shouldn't be a problem from our connection standpoint, but the place is now rocking and rolling. Super Bowl 53 is really underway. It feels like it starts on Wednesday. You know, that's what's so weird about the Monday night deal. They have that opening night, and you kind of hear on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, and it's cool to be here. And Monday night's a cool night, but it's not like wow, this feels like a big event until today. Today and tomorrow, and then, of course, you're getting closer and closer to the big game. You feel it a little bit different today.
It is a little different today, yeah. I mean, I kind of showed up a little later today. I got here around 11:30, and I walked in, and, yeah, there was, every spot that people are broadcasting from was taken already. Usually the past 2 days, everything was open. You could kind of get around easily. Today was a little different. Obviously there's a lot more security check-in and stuff like that. Still haven't really seen any A-list celebrities I was hoping to see, but there's still plenty of time left for that.
They'll be here.
Yeah.
The entourages will be here.
Beyonce, where are you at?
Like last year in Minnesota, it was a little different because I don't think people wanted to make that trip, quite frankly, to Minnesota in the cold.
It's the middle of winter. Why would you want to go to Minnesota in the middle of winter?
But Atlanta, obviously easy to get to. It's a hub, all those things. So flying in and out and all that is not a problem. So everybody will be here. Okay, I want to continue and wrap up our conversation about the Saints call and about Roger Goodell. He addressed it today, and I think we dropped out where I would just reiterate real quick. I still believe that it's not – you don't need to give this to the coaches. You give it to people in New York, and if there is a call like that, I wouldn't even have probably used this buzzer from New York to the officiating crew in whatever city you're talking about in the Miles Jack situation, because I'm not quite sure in live action that was a play, and even on the first replay was a play that you said, oh my gosh, they got that thing wrong. Now, you could assume he did. Mm-hmm. They did. But you almost had to see that a few times to say, wow, that's egregious. And at the same time, they blew the whistle. So I think that's a play that you really don't know where it's going to go. You can't, award a touchdown. This is totally different. And I think we're going to find that these plays, these decisive plays, first of all, are only going to happen later in the game.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. That you can absolutely say, wow, that's really changed the outcome of the game. I think if you use that 3, 4, 5, 6 times from New York to a place, I don't think that's going to bother people if they get it right. This is worse. It's worse not getting it right, and there's nothing you can do because nothing happened on the field that day. Instead, we just complain about it for 2 weeks. I'd rather have somebody say, hey, we got to take a look at that. That looked wrong. Let's try to fix that. And you know what? If the person hit the buzzer by accident and it doesn't work, so what? You go back to football.
What kind of calls are we making here, though? I mean, obviously the pass interference would be big, but are we going to call holdings? Are we going to do roughing the passers if it was roughing the passer? And I mean, for instance, so Tom Brady gets an eyelash batted against the Kansas City Chiefs. Do you pick that flag up? If you're in New York watching that game, do you pick the flag up and say that wasn't a penalty?
I would simply ask you this question, okay? And you're a little different because you're a football guy and you can pick up on this thing. But you've got to watch it from my perspective, my wife's perspective, and my kid's perspective. When Tom Brady, there was that roughing the passer call, which was an eyelash,
yes,
right? And shouldn't have been. In live action, you couldn't tell. You needed the slow-mo camera for the third time to go tell. And holding, listen, an egregious holding that gets missed. The person on the couch down in St. Johns County doesn't really know that. Now, some football people think they know it, and again, to others' eyes. But I need you to tell me from my wife's eyes and my kid's eyes and my eyes that was an egregious hold. That's not going to happen. This play, America jumped off their couch and said, you got that wrong, and I don't even need a replay. And that's my point. How many times does that happen in a season? Not much. But at least you have a mechanism in place to be able to say, we're going to get it right. We're going to get it right. We're not going to cost the team either a playoff berth, a win, which is hard to come by in the NFL, or even in this case, a chance to go to the Super Bowl. I don't think it's that disruptive. I would think most of the time nobody even sees it going on, knows it's going on. And I would imagine if there were, there's like 260 games played in the NFL season, something like that.
Yeah.
I would imagine that kind of play that we saw probably only happened, a half a dozen times.
Handful of times. Yeah.
That's not a lot. Which also goes to the point of Roger Goodell saying, hey, our officials do a pretty good job most of the time. They do.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting into those little nose of the football stuff or the holding call, to your point. I think it's a fair question. But you're not jumping off the couch at a holding call.
But we're not talking about putting fans in that booth in New York, Brent. These are NFL officials. These are NFL elected people that are watching this game. So they're going to view the game differently than, some random fan in St. Johns County.
Yeah.
So to say, well, only, call the blatant ones, the ones that are going to affect the game. Well, a lot of plays can affect the game, and everyone watches football differently. I got to believe if you're an NFL elected official and you're in New York, you're going to call it pretty tight because you're going to see a lot more stuff than the casual NFL fan.
Good point.
So while I do agree with that, and I think that's a pretty good idea that you're bringing up here, we really got to establish what exactly can get called and what can't get called. I think that'd be the first step in going forward, with this plan.
Well, most everything is replayed now. Turnovers are, touchdowns are, plays are. If you don't run out of challenges, which very few people do. I mean, very few teams run out of the challenge because they're challenging something. The ones that they don't win are because they're going to take a gamble and they don't think they need the 2 challenges during the game. So I think what we're really saying is, should you be able to change a judgment call? And like I said earlier, should you be able to change something that a flag wasn't even thrown on? And I think those are fair questions. I really do. But I think if it's so egregious that we talk about it for 10 days later and we all knew it was the wrong call, and Goodell has to call the moment the game is over and apologize to the other coach, which how many times has that been done in NFL history? If they have to do that, we need some kind of mechanism in place to say, hey, guys, y'all missed that. It's not easy down there, but y'all missed that. And we're going to do something about it in the next 10 seconds, not in the next 10 weeks.
Agreed, and I think we can all agree, we're sitting here trying to come up with ways. There's not a perfect system, and there's not a perfect way to do this.
No.
It's
imperfect, which is okay. Mike Smith said it yesterday to us.
Yeah. So going forward, I hope they come up with some kind of rule where it's the fact that you can challenge and it's in the coach's hands. I think going forward, that's probably going to be the best play. I'm not opposed to your idea with going to the officials in New York or whatever like that and kind of letting them monitor it. But once again, we have to define the rules of what can and cannot be called, and then I think we'll be a little better from there.
And by the way, the communication has to be good because if it's anything like this Ethernet line the NFL has given us, that might be a bad option. So they got to be good. They got to be crystal clear. It's got to be able to get the message really quick. Okay, one other thought on the Goodell stuff from today, and I caught this. And if you read it in print, if you even read it in my tweet that I sent when he does this, when he did this afternoon, I don't think it's going to be like, wow. It's not going to be one of those reads. But I think if you heard him say it and kind of the context he used to say it, I thought it was really interesting when it comes to London. He was asked by Richard Graves, who works for Sky Sports, and might come on with us, by the way, later in the week, about the possibility, is there still momentum for London to get a franchise? And how is it all working? Well, there are 4 games again in London this year. Listen, that part is working fantastic. Those games are sold out. More and more people are getting excited about football in London. You can't debate that. We've been over there 5-6 years in a row. We see it. There are more jerseys. The Jags actually have a good following over there. But what I thought was interesting is Goodell basically said, we know the fan interest is there. We know the stadiums work. We know there's momentum for it. But what we really don't know how to do is the competitive nature of having a team over there playing all their games or their season and being located there, and how that impacts them and also the other 31 teams. We don't know. He basically said our arms are up in the air and we don't know how that will impact our league having a franchise over there. And he said until we figure that out, we are not NFL ready. And I'm telling you, the way he said that, to me, where everything has been pointing toward, okay, let's push a team over there, maybe by 2021, maybe by 2022. I know I think it was Mark Waller was doing all the stuff over there in London. He since has been reassigned or no longer doing. I think they've actually, my read into this is they've said, don't worry about putting a team over there right now. We're not even, forget about the goal. Let's just keep playing games, putting other teams, the mix of 4, maybe we get to 5 or 6 someday of other teams playing, but we're not going to worry about a franchise. You know why? Because we also have this lockout looming, this work stoppage potentially looming. Things are going to already be hard enough. How hard do you think it is going to be to say, hey, 53 guys, go live in London for a year? Yeah. I don't think they want to deal with that right now. In my opinion today, what I read from Commissioner Roger Goodell is it's off the table for the foreseeable future to have a franchise there. Again, that's me reading into it, but that's what I kind of heard today when it comes to a franchise in London. And so that should, if you're one of those people that think the Jags are going to London, which I'm not,
Yeah, there's no way that's happening.
I don't think I never thought it was happening anyway, and I really don't think now, after hearing Goodell today, that it's happening for any franchise anytime soon.
So what I always figured out with Goodell, I mean, player safety is big and everything like that, but let's be honest, if you're really that concerned with the player well-being, you wouldn't have Thursday night games. You wouldn't be, make teams play Monday night and then have that short week. So, yeah, I kind of get the whole player safety, player personnel perspective. At the same time, if there's money to be made, Roger Goodell's going to make it.
I got some money in London,
And there is a lot of money in London. To me, guys don't want to go play in London. I mean, guys enjoy the vacation. It's not a vacation, obviously. It's still a business trip. Guys may like going overseas and playing for a game. But asking a grown man to move his family to another country to play football, there's no way that's ever going to happen. And I understand it's a big market in London. They're trying to grow the sport as much as possible, and I think it's great that they play games in London over there. But just from a logistics standpoint, you'd almost have to have it where if a team was to play in London, you'd have to have 8 games back-to-back away and then have 8 games at home because, Brent, I've never been to London myself, but you've taken that plane ride. It's a long plane ride. So imagine, being a player, getting ready to prep for the game. All right, you play the game in London, and now we have to go someplace else to go play. It's just – logistically, I just don't see it ever happening.
All right, so seriously, go back to 2014.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the Lions or whoever, and they say, hey, you're moving to London.
Nah, probably not. No.
You wouldn't be up. You wouldn't be like, hey, this is kind of cool for a year.
No. I mean,
we're going to give you extra money, Austin.
It'd be cool to visit, but
we're going to give you a good place to live, good place to stay.
No, there's no way, man. Absolutely not. And this is me in Detroit, man. Like, I was in Detroit, and I'm saying no to London. So
yeah, and I think that's why I think it's off the table for some time because they've got bigger problems with the players versus the league right now.
Exactly.
Going forward into 2021 in a potential work stoppage. I think it put the London franchise talks to rest. And again, in Jacksonville, some people believe it could potentially happen. Outside of Jacksonville, a lot of people connect those dots. Get it off your mind, people. Jags ain't going anywhere. In fact, no team is going to London on a permanent basis, I would say, for at least 15 years. That's the earliest I'll give it, 15 years. That's the earliest. Marcel Robinson joins us next with Boomer Esiason on ESPN690.
This is Golick and Wingo.
NFL insider Adam Schefter is with us. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Tom Coughlin comes out with this statement. Where do you think this is headed?
They're going to be exploring other avenues, with them being one of the most, if not the most disappointing team in football, starting at the quarterback position. They'll start there, and they'll branch out, and I would expect that they'll obviously discuss the idea of moving on from Leonard Fournette, as they will with other disappointing players there this offseason.
Golick and Wingo, weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Hey, it's Bill with Bill Fenwick Plumbing. I have yet to meet anyone that has woken up in the morning and said, hot dog, today I'm calling a plumber. Usually it's, who am I going to call and can they take care of me today? Yes, we know the stereotype, dirty, smelly, probably late, and more than likely, you don't want him to bend over. If you need a plumber, call Bill Fenwick. See what our Golden Plunger service is all about. Call us or go to BillFenwickPlumbing.com.
Everybody loves new. How about a new car from Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville? Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on the new ESPN690. And the new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville is now open for business. This new state-of-the-art Hyundai dealership was built from the ground up with you in mind. So do what my family did and buy a Hyundai. They offer a lifetime warranty that is good anywhere in the United States. Oh, but there's more. Along with the low prices, exceptional service, and a lifetime warranty. You know what else we really love about Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville? Their no-risk, no-pressure approach. Imagine leaving the dealership with a new Hyundai Sonata. Fantastic car. But you leave and you wish you had left with a new SUV like the Hyundai Santa Fe instead. If you decide for any reason you're not 100% satisfied, you may return your vehicle in the first 7 days for your money back. The Hyundai you want, the service you deserve, all with Jenkins' exclusive lifetime warranty. Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville.
There's nothing like sitting down for a personal conversation with Eddie and Chuck from Farah and Farah, and you can do that every Saturday at noon on News 104.5 WOKV. Join Eddie and Chuck every Saturday on the Consumer Law Hour, where they break down everything from personal injury to civil rights. Join them and be part of the conversation on the Consumer Law Hour, brought to you by Farah and Farah, every Saturday at noon on News 104.5 WOKV.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Come meet Shaquem Griffin and hear his inspirational story during a community event presented by Brooks Rehabilitation. Saturday, February 9th on the Flex Field at Daly's Place.
There are those who play the blues. Then there's Chicago's electric blues legend, the one and only Buddy Guy.
And it goes down.
Saturday, March 23rd at the Florida Theater.
Well, you know it's 9 below zero.
Tickets are on sale now at the box office and at floridatheater.com. Don't miss Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee Buddy Guy.
From Daytona Beach to Brunswick, now ESPN can be heard loud and clear everywhere on one of the most powerful AM radio stations in Florida. Listen everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. This is ESPN 690.
Now, back to Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Team has earned its way here. A lot of hard work. We've had our ups and downs, but ultimately we're able to earn the spot here, and we're privileged to represent the AFC in this great game, and certainly a great matchup against an outstanding team with the Rams.
The always excitable Bill Belichick, New England Patriots head coach. You know, I probably don't spend enough time talking about Bill Belichick. We talk about Tom Brady a bunch, of course, but Bill Belichick, many consider the greatest of all time as well. Move over, Vince Lombardi. Hey, what's the magic whiteboard saying, by the way? We got the video up on Facebook on ESPN 690.
Yep.
We got the video up on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks.
Yep.
We got the video up on YouTube. Go subscribe to our Action Sports Jacks channel. We are rocking and rolling this thing now. It's show 13, and I think we're figuring it out. So what's the whiteboard magic?
Deep thoughts from Austin Lane right now. I want you guys to ponder on this one. Nothing is ever on fire. Fire is on things.
Nothing is ever on fire. Fire is on things.
What do you think?
Those are deep thoughts.
Yeah, those are very deep thoughts.
Did you hear that somewhere, or did you come up with it?
No, I actually heard it somewhere.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you think I came up with that off the top of my head? I mean, I'm creative, man, but that's a different level.
Give me a lot of credit.
Let's be honest here. We do get drug tested, so there's no way, yeah, that's coming from my head.
Speaking of, well, not drug tested. I was a little creative. Action Sports Jacks Marcel Robinson checks in right now. Wait, he doesn't check in until I turn his volume up. Now he checks in.
I was going to say, speaking of on fire.
Ah.
I'm just saying. That's what I'd go with.
That's what you got.
Or we could say, speaking of not wearing shoes for the past 2 hours.
No. My shoes are wrong.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Old Stinky Feet over here.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hey, by the way, scooter life is real, right?
Scoot life is real.
You, I think, were a little apprehensive to get on the scooter.
Oh, I was feeling it.
And then we lost you. Like you were about a mile back.
I just got it going.
And now you're grooving.
I was moving and grooving.
In fact, by the end of the night last night, I was a little concerned for you, safety, quite honestly.
We were all concerned for everybody, yeah.
When Scoot life takes a hold, you just got to let it happen.
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, you spent some time the last couple of days talking to the CBS folks. We brought you on about Nate Burleson yesterday. How'd that go, by the way? Burleson hit you back? Have you even put it out there yet?
No, not yet.
You're like dressing this thing up.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And we have a lot going on in TV and radio, and so you haven't had time to put like this epic.
I'm being professionally responsible and pushing this off until at least the weekend.
Okay. We want reaction, though, once it happens.
Oh, it's going to be biblical.
I bet it will. NFL Network guys talk today, including Maurice Jones-Drew and Michael Urban and Brian Billick and Sean O'Hara, so we'll have some of those conversations throughout the rest of the week. But you caught up with some of the QBs, and obviously your guy Nate and our guy Nate yesterday. Right. Boomer Esiason, we've caught up with him before at CBS Media Day in New York. You know, I think Boomer's good. Boomer, obviously, he was an MVP in 1988. I think people forget that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
He was a really good quarterback. I mean, really good. And I think all these years go by, and you know him now as kind of a personality instead of a quarterback, and you forget how good guys like Sims and Esiason were. I mean, a lot of folks listen and obviously watch. But the younger crowd, you got to go Google and YouTube that guy.
Yeah, I wasn't born yet.
Yeah, it's been that long, right?
I was one when he won the MVP,
yeah,
so yeah.
You know?
I don't remember too much.
And he was good, man. He was good, and he was lefty, and that was unique, you know? And obviously Steve Young was the same, but now he's been controversial at times. He's a guy people don't love to love and sometimes love to hate, but that makes you good in this business too.
No, for sure.
From a national perspective, especially. But I really do believe he's pretty insightful, and he knows, kind of has a pulse of what's going on in Jacksonville, it seems, a bunch when we've caught up with him in the last few years.
Yeah, I think actually out of all the CBS guys that I talked to, he seems to have the tightest grasp on what actually is going on in Jacksonville. I mean, obviously we talked in the interview, which we'll hear in a minute or so. Well, we kind of not much detail about the quarterback position, but talked about just what's going on in Jacksonville, and sort of kind of talking to him afterwards. You could tell that he really is. He's not one of those guys that kind of sees the box score and kind of just sees the narrative. He actually pays attention and knows exactly what's going on in and outside the locker room.
Hey, listen, a lot of those guys do that too, especially about the Jags. Might be just a headline reader. But I do think because the Jags got relevant last year, and really relevant, more and more people paid attention. More and more people had a pulse of what's going on outside of our region and the River City. Here's Marcel Robinson's conversation this week with Boomer Esiason.
Couldn't ask for a bigger storyline, and it's not just the quarterback position, it's also the coaches as well. You got Bill Belichick versus Sean McVay. Typically, you give Bill Belichick 2 weeks to prepare for anyone. He's going to come out with a game plan, which we fully expect him to do. But Sean McVay being, the new gun and kind of coming in with this high-flying offense, how do you expect that to go?
Well, Bill Belichick is not unbeatable. He's lost 3 Super Bowls, 2 to the Giants and 1 to Philadelphia last year. So, the one thing I will say about Sean McVay that we found out this week, he and Bill Belichick have texted back and forth all season long. And what that tells me is that that's the validation of acceptance and credibility from Bill Belichick to a younger coach, 32. And the good news is he's got a really good, solid young quarterback and foundation now for the future.
The biggest talker that's been going on the past 2 weeks is the penalties, the possibility of maybe reviewing these penalties. Tell me, is that the way the NFL is kind of turning this way? And what are your thoughts on whether penalties should be reviewable or not, especially in crunch time situations like that?
I'd be really careful about putting pass interference in the replay category. There are 3 plays that I would put roughing the passer, defenseless receiver, or a blocker. And I would put running into the kicker or roughing the kicker into the replay category. And if those were in place last week for the AFC and NFC Championship game, we wouldn't have had a phantom roughing the passer against the Chiefs, and we certainly would have had a helmet-to-helmet against the Rams for the Saints. So I think those are things that you can do to improve replay and hopefully get the calls right on the field.
And one last question for you. We're reporting from Jacksonville. Obviously, last year the Jags, right there, one could say one play away, one whistle away, but this year, completely different story. They decided to go all in on Blake Bortles. That didn't seem to go their way. Tell me, how important is it for this team to get the quarterback of the future right now, because that window is really small?
Well, their window is small, and they've made some trades here, and certainly they doubled down on Blake, and unfortunately it just didn't work out for him. And when it doesn't work out for the quarterback, then there's going to be dissension in the locker room, and I think that's really what happened in Jacksonville, and I think we saw that towards the end of the season with T.J. Yeldon and, of course, Leonard Fournette, and even Jalen Ramsey, who really had a hard time with the losing. So they're going to have to figure out who they need to be as a leader of that team, and that leader has to be a strong-willed quarterback. Who that is, that's anybody's question right now, but there's definitely a move, I would imagine, to go get a new quarterback and somebody that is experienced to be able to get this playoff caliber roster back to the playoffs.
A lot to unpack in that final answer from Boomer Esiason. So let's begin with a couple of things. Let's begin with the last part that he just said. He says a veteran quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay? I think that's good insight. And we've asked a couple people around here, too. If you're a player on that team that has a little bit of a window, speak for the players, Austin Lane. Mm-hmm. You've got to feel better if there's a veteran guy like Flacco and Foles coming into the locker room than if there's some unknown, even if he's highly touted, like a Dwayne Haskins or Daniel Jones or Will Grier.
Exactly. I mean, if you're a first-year player coming in, especially at the quarterback position where being a leader is so important, you got to remember the fact that it takes time to build that relationship. It takes time to build camaraderie. These guys have never been in an NFL locker room before. So if you bring in a vet, like a Joe Flacco or Nick Foles, those guys have been around locker rooms. They know different personality types, and they know how to get everybody together. So ideally what you want to do, and I've been preaching it since day one, I say I think you should bring in a free agent quarterback, either Foles or Flacco, and then draft high, obviously, and bring in like a Haskins or so somebody else in the 3rd or 4th round. All right,
Marcel, I want to ask you about the other part of that, though. He pretty much said because Blake didn't play well, he thought there was dissension in the locker room. Now, you got to be careful the way you interpret that. Maybe exactly the way he said it. is that people were divided on Blake, right? That's kind of the way it was said.
Right.
But I kind of feel like he was trying to hint at, and you get a better feel of this, you talk to him, that quarterbacks, even when the locker room starts going its own way, that quarterback can bring everybody back in it, right? If they're the commanding presence in the locker room, they can keep everybody together with their play, with their attitude, with their leadership. So that's kind of the way I took that, more so than it was a divisive locker room on Blake. That's why Leonard Fournette didn't act like a pro, and T.J. Yeldon didn't act like a pro, and Jalen Ramsey talked so much, and Delvin Smith didn't act. Like, I didn't. What was your interpretation?
That's about what I gathered. He was actually kind of along the same lines that we've kind of been saying for the whole year, is that really, Blake's, he's a cool guy. He's that kind of laid-back, chill guy. He's not the guy that's going to, snatch everybody up, bring the whole offense after a turnover and kind of rile everybody up and reel this thing back in. Like a Drew Brees or Tom Brady or, Peyton Manning back in the day. A few years ago, I should say, not back in the day. But yeah, I think that's kind of what he was alluding to, because typically, you have your offensive captain, your defensive captain, your positional captains, but you really need to have one person on that team that can bring all 53 guys together and say, look, if we don't turn this thing around right now, we're walking out here with an L. And I think that's the kind of – and that also comes with veteran leadership. I mean, we get that. Some of the Senior Bowl quarterbacks we talked to, they said that they have that kind of attribute. They can come in and they can lead a locker room. But you got to earn that. And there's no person who can earn that faster than a veteran quarterback.
Yeah, very well said. Well said. And Blake, I will give Boomer Esiason credit for that. I don't feel that about Blake. And a lot of that was because he wasn't playing well. Right. Like, I don't think Blake was a bad captain. We talked about the bad captains the Jags had this year. The fact is, when you're not playing well, captaincy and leadership and all that stuff is hard to do. It's like being injured. I mean, you're pretty much irrelevant. You can't lead being injured. That's a hard thing to do. All right, Scoot Life's for real, Sunglass Life for real.
All day.
The quarterback's got to be able to gather the divas like Marcel Robinson. If you're watching on video, I mean, look at that. He's got the sunglasses out.
I'm inspired. When we talked to the playmaker, Michael Irvin, he had his shades on.
Very good. We'll hear from Michael Irvin. Good tease a little bit later on in the show. More to come from Super Bowl 53 on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter update.
I'm Aaron, and word on the street. New York Jets All-Pro safety Jamal Adams was spotted out having lunch with Le'Veon Bell's agent. The Steelers running back is expected to field a pretty big offer from Gang Green this offseason, but if Steelers wideout Juju Smith-Schuster had his way, the 2019 Steelers offense would look very familiar.
If it's my opinion, obviously I want AB, Le'Veon back on the team. Dude, you see how the season goes when Bell and, we got Bell and James Conner rotating, smashing. Yeah. Obviously playing with AB has been amazing. He's been a great mentor. And, dude, he makes plays.
Meanwhile, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has acknowledged that the refs made a mistake with their non-call on the Rams' pass interference play in the NFC Championship, but he's skeptical the Rules Committee will actually draft changes for next year. And finally, Lamont Evans will be the third college basketball coach found guilty of federal conspiracy bribery charges related to kickbacks from agents for players. As part of the plea, Evans could face up to 2 years in the clink and has to give back $22,000 he illegally took in bribes. Steph Curry and the Warriors face up against the LeBron-less Lakers Sunday night right here. Tip-off at 8 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Hi, this is Adam Schefter, host of the Adam Schefter Podcast. As we inch closer to the Super Bowl, the Adam Schefter Podcast is your weekly pass inside the world of the NFL, from interviews with players, coaches, and executives to conversations with some of the top insiders in the business. If you're a fan of the National Football League, this is the podcast for you. You can listen and subscribe to the Adam Schefter Podcast on the ESPN app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's time for some straight talk. I'm ready for it. You want the best coverage, right?
Of course. Don't want the QB throwing any deep bombs.
I'm talking about coverage on your smartphone, Wingo.
Oh, I get you now. I want the best nationwide coverage then.
Well, you'll get it with Straight Talk. The same great 4G LTE networks as the big guys for up to 30% less.
Man, you got to grab that deal and run with it.
Take it to the house.
With nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks, get the Straight Talk $45 unlimited plan with 15 gigs of high-speed data. Only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Hi, it's Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park, where our no-bull pricing and express sales process will have you out the door in your new Chevy fast. No bull means transparent, easy-to-understand pricing without the gimmicks or fluffy add-ons that just slow the process down. Fast, fair, and transparent is what you can always expect at Gordon Chevy. And right now, we have our new Silverados starting at $24,900, our new Colorado starting at $23,900, only at the money-saving end of Blanding Boulevard and online at GordonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Are you afraid of the IRS because you have unfiled or unpaid taxes? Most don't realize that having unfiled federal taxes is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in jail for each unfiled return. With the IRS, it's never a question of if they'll come, but when. Don't live in fear. Call J. David Tax Law now for a no-cost consultation at 904-606-0009. That's 904-606-0009. Or find us on the web at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
I'm Steve Lennox. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell addressed the controversy at the end of the Rams-Saints NFC Championship game today when he gave the State of the League address in Atlanta. Goodell said officials are human, won't get it right every time. Also said he is not in favor of adding an additional official to Cruz. Rams-Patriots Super Bowl 53 Sunday. Patriots owner Robert Kraft asked today about Tom Brady's future.
Well, think about it. The last 3 years, we've been privileged to go to the Super Bowl with a quarterback in place. I would be quite surprised if he didn't continue for quite a while as our quarterback.
Next season would be Brady's 20th with the Pats in the final year of his current contract. Lakers have announced LeBron James will not play Thursday against the Clippers. Celtics home tonight against the Hornets. Kyrie Irving will miss his second straight game due to a left hip strain. Pacers-Wizards, game one of an NBA doubleheader tonight on ESPN and the ESPN app beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern.
For special occasions like Valentine's, 1-800-Flowers has the best bouquets and deals around. Like 18 red roses for $29.99. Or upgrade to 24 red roses for $10 more. To order, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code WILL.
You watch Action Sports Jax on CBS47 and FOX30. Now Action Sports Jax is on your radio. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Here's your host, Brent Martineau.
I like the lamp for the happy hour horn. 4 o'clock on a Wednesday. Happy hour horn is a thing from Radio Row in Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta. Brett Martineau, Austin Lane. Good to have Marcel Robinson on with us just moments ago. Stuart Weber will join us in the next segment. And are we going to talk a little wrestling later?
Oh, we're talking wrestling. We have a surprise guest coming around 4:45. I guess I'll reveal it right now. Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh, geez. I mean, I couldn't even stop you. You were revealing that. I thought you had a good tease going.
I'm just that excited, man.
Nailed it. You just
Diamond
got
Dallas
it all
Page,
out there.
Mr. Diamond Cutter himself, the NWO Killer is coming here in about an hour.
And I'm like stepping out of that interview.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you want to go to the bathroom, if you want to go to the concession stands,
not
get
because
yourself
I'm
something.
not because I'm not interested in it. I think it's going to be fantastic. But that's your time to shine, man. You're excited about that.
Don't embarrass me in front of Diamond Dallas Page, please. Okay, Brent, ask him some wrestling stuff.
I better do some research.
Yeah, do your research, do your due diligence. Don't mess this up for me, please.
I'll try not to mess it up. Coming on, we think at 4:45. Do you know Diamond Dallas Page has, I think I looked it up yesterday, 450,000 followers on Twitter?
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't feel like his name is that relevant still.
Well, do you know how his name got really relevant? He went on the Joe Rogan podcast a few months ago, and he really found a resurgence there. But he's been really popular. He's got the DDP yoga that he's doing.
That.
And he's had a couple movies come out too with, and I'm sure we'll talk about him, but he had a documentary with Scott Hall, who was another former wrestler. Basically how he took Scott underneath his wing. Scott was, I think he was a pill abuser and also an alcoholic and whatnot. I mean, just, as a lot of those old wrestlers are. So he kind of took Scott underneath his wing, brought him to his house, and basically got him clean and sober.
All right, good deal. Well, Diamond Dallas Page coming up in a bit. Michael Irvin coming up next segment. And Tony Baselli during the 5 o'clock hour as well, as we talk more about the Hall of Fame. And it was a good conversation with Tony Baselli today. Really enjoyed it. And he's excited. He's in a good mood. I think he'll be worn out by tomorrow or Friday, but he's ready to go and approaching Saturday and the big day. Maybe this is the year Tony Baselli gets in. We've talked about it at length already. We'll do it some more at the 5 o'clock hour. You got a little stay in your lane? I mean, can you stay in your lane and Scoot Life?
Oh, it's funny
Life.
you should bring up Scoot Life because my stay in your lane cruise control gotta be. Well, I'm going to set it up a little bit first. There's this dude in Atlanta right now.
Time out a second.
Yeah.
If people are watching right now, this is not only just an audio thing.
Yeah.
Okay? And so what we're trying to do, like you got the magic of the whiteboard, right? And we got a shot of Radio Row. So if you go check it out, you can see everything going on. Well, Marcel, we're trying to have a conversation.
I know, man. I'm trying to stay in your lane here.
And Marcel Robinson is sitting here posing and taking selfies with the whiteboard.
Yep.
Because you said he's got sunglasses on, and he says sun never sets on a badass.
Yep.
And so now he's pointing to himself, holding the thing. I mean, it's distracting.
Apparently he was getting some hate on Twitter. Somebody called him wearing the sunglasses, so he's kind of going into defense mode right now.
And one more thing before I'll let you get back on the topic.
Yep.
Weber, I just want you to be careful. Stuart Weber is the only one really doing work over here right now. And we can see the webpage on the stream. So just be careful.
Easy.
I have no idea what you're looking at over there.
Stuart,
but be careful. All right, stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. So, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Brent, but there's kind of like this folk guy here in Atlanta that's been going around creating a lot of buzz. You might have come across him last night. His name is Scooter Johnny.
Scooter Johnny.
Are you familiar with Scooter Johnny, Brent?
I heard of him last night.
So for those of you that don't know, I mean, everybody should know by now. It's pretty much a hashtag. It's trending everywhere. Scooter Johnny is my alter ego when I put my feet on that scooter. And I'm getting some pretty big receptions when I'm walking into buildings now. Last night at the aquarium, a lady came up to me. She was in the business. Came up to me and said, "You got to be a football player." I said, "No, ma'am. I'm actually Scooter Johnny." And then we got into the whole fact where I'm here from L.A.
Yeah.
I scooted all the way down to Atlanta, and basically I'm here because it's a Super Bowl and there's some good scooting around.
Yeah.
So
the alter ego took over.
Yeah, and
I was there for that moment.
And I really feel bad for my son and wife when I go home because this might be a full-blown thing. Scooter Johnny might be coming out more than we'd want him to, but the fact of the matter is, man, if there's a scooter around, I'm going to grip it. I'm going to rip it.
Well, here's the deal. Just so everybody listening, the scooters, I don't know if they have this in a ton of cities. Weber usually knows. They have it a lot in the big cities.
It's pretty popular.
I mean, we've done the bike thing, like in Chicago. It's the same deal, like where you take the bike, and now they do it with cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
You pay for it on the app, and you take it and you drop it off wherever you drop it. Well, the scooter, I mean, usually you have to drop the bikes off at like a rack, and they have the thing, and you plug it back in, and blah, 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 blah. Well, the scooters are just laying all over the sidewalk, and you just drop it wherever. And Stuart was telling us that people just pick them up and recharge them, like they get paid to do it, just like average Joe guy, maybe Scooter Johnny. But so that's kind of so now these scooters, man, they've got miles per hour on them. They've got lanes for you to drive in. I'm wondering if we ever see it in Jacksonville.
I think the problem with Jacksonville, everything's so spread out, and there's not much of a downtown life.
I know, okay, but
so
fast forward 5 years.
Yeah.
Downtown's built up a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, maybe just at the St. John's Town Center would be great because that place
Center would be a good idea.
It's chaos. And maybe like at the beach as well. I'm all for them. I mean, I know they kind of get a bad rap sometimes because they're everywhere and, people are falling off and getting hit. Not Scooter Johnny, but, that has happened. I like to see him in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, listen, you're going, I mean, I can think up to, 16, 17 miles an hour down the hill. And if you hit I know it doesn't sound like much, but on a scooter,
it's legit.
You're cruising.
And can we talk about the fact that Stewart actually made money last night by this whole scooter thing? Like, I don't know what it was, but I guess if you recruit friends. It's kind of like a pyramid scheme where if you recruit friends, then you get a cut. So
See? You
Stewart's
thought
the
I
only
was
guy,
getting you into the pyramid scheme, and it was Weber.
Stewart's the only guy, we went to the bars last night to actually make money from all that. Everybody else lost a little money.
Not surprising. All right,
yeah.
so that's your cruise control, Scooter Johnny.
Yep.
You got anything to pump the brakes, or is that on the scooter too?
Can I talk smack about ESPN or not?
Be careful. We just had the reps come around here.
Well, this is probably their fault as well. Pump the brakes, ESPN. More specifically, SportsCenter. So basically what happened was ESPN got catfished by a fake LeBron James account on Twitter. And the comment said to Anthony Davis, "See you, Laker." Oh, I'm sorry. I meant later. ESPN saw that,
crafty,
thought it was LeBron James, and spread it all over like wildfire and everything. And unfortunately, that was not LeBron James that did that. Hey, ESPN or any kind of sports media, do better. Do your homework, do your due diligence. Make sure he's got the blue check mark. You just can't go around retweeting everything thinking it's professional athletes. So even though they're paying the bills, I got to call them out at the same time.
Yeah, I can't believe that would happen. I can't believe someone would fall for a fake account.
I know, Brent.
It's never
crazy,
happened.
Right?
I mean, I can't believe it.
It's crazy, right?
I mean, listen, that stuff is so easy to happen.
Yeah.
But, I mean, something like that runs wild.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And trust me, if it's me, I'm doing my research first. I'm not retweeting anything until I know for sure.
There's a big thing. At first, the fake accounts used to bug me. I'm like, gosh, what are you guys doing? You have this much time on your hand that you want to do that? And I just didn't get it. Now I actually am humored by it.
Yeah.
I am. Because now it's almost like a game. Don't get caught on it.
Mm-hmm.
I had gone a long time, and then something recently happened, and I retweeted it, and I was like, shoot, they got me.
You gotcha?
So you always got to be a little careful, but it's amazing what the folks come up with. And you said our guy, Uncle Chaps.
Yeah.
I mean, he would crush people with that stuff.
Well, and literally, I think he got a job at Barstool Sports just because he was trolling people, man. So
absolutely.
Props to him.
Yeah,
man.
but I've done a 180 on it.
Turned it into a sport.
I used to call. I'd be like, "What the?"
Yeah.
And now I'm like, "God, that's pretty funny."
Yeah,
I don't fall for it.
Yeah,
but it's easy. Some intern probably fell for it at ESPN.
No, for sure.
All respect to interns.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he was an intern. He's probably not an intern anymore there. So
I don't know how it works there.
Yeah.
But if you keep ripping ESPN, you might be the same way.
Yeah, that's a good point.
When we come back, more football talk. How about Michael Irvin, the great Dallas Cowboy? He knows how to win a Super Bowl or two, doesn't he? Action Sports Jack's Stuart Weber joins us and caught up with the great wide receiver. That's next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Peace of mind, it's one of the most important things we can have, and sometimes the most elusive. I'm Mark Anajar from the Law Office of Anajar and Levine. If you've been involved in a car accident,
call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000 for a consultation.
Office in Jacksonville.
What's up? It's Justin, producer of Action Sports Jacks here on ESPN 690, and we've got your chance to win some tickets to March Madness at the Jacksonville Memorial Arena. All you need to do is enter this secret word on our sister station, WOKV.com, under the contest tab. The secret word is assist. The word is assist.
Rev up your engine and save on a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Arlington Toyota is kicking off 2019 with big savings on their huge selection of over 1,000 new and pre-owned on the lot every day. Get a 2019 Corolla LE starting at just $14,888. That's a pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE for just $14,888. Want to join the club? Get the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club, and it comes with your newer pre-owned purchase, packed with discounts on service and parts, trade-in cash, and more. Arlington Toyota is giving you all the buying confidence you need with iPreCheck, powered by TransUnion. With iPreCheck, you can check your credit without affecting your score and get instant payment results custom to you. No Social Security number required. Shop Arlington Toyota in person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Track the Toyota is back at Arlington. Follow Arlington Toyota on Facebook and Twitter for contest details, and you could win a $100 gift card plus $500 off your next Arlington Toyota purchase.
I'm Julie Harrell. When you've been involved in an accident, a lot of things will be happening. Dealing with the police, filling out accident reports. But as soon as you can, call Harrell & Harrell. You're going to be facing complex medical issues in a world you've never been exposed to. Life has got to go back to normal, but you're not normal. You're hurt. We'll help. It's what we do. Give us a call if you've been in an accident. Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Offices, Jacksonville.
Hey, it's Bill with Bill Fenwick Plumbing. If you've ever had a leak under your concrete slab, then you know how much it can increase your water bill or even your electric or gas bill if it's on the hot side of your plumbing system. Slab leaks can be costly, but luckily they are no match for our Golden Plunger service. If you suspect that you have a broken water pipe under the slab, have our team of professionals come out, locate the leak, and help you get your plumbing back on track. If you'd like to schedule a service call or would like some tips to determine whether or not you have a leak, visit BillFenwickPlumbing.com.
At World Imports, we're car people. We love cars. If you're in the market for a luxury pre-owned automobile, we can help. We don't just sell you a car. We help you select your car, the car you've been dreaming about. No gimmicks here, no free TVs, and we won't put your car in a new age vending machine. Audi, BMW, Infiniti, Mercedes, or any other high-end pre-owned automobile, view our inventory at worldimportsusa.com. We'll find the car that makes the most sense for your style and budget. Visit us today at worldimportsusa.com.
Hey, it's Jacksonville's Morning News host Rich Jones. If you're here looking for news, weather, and traffic from News 104.5 WOKV, you need to change your radio preset. We're now only on 104.5 FM. If you're here for all things sports, you are in the right place. This is ESPN 690, Golick and Wingo, Dan Lebitard, Stephen A. Smith, and the home of Action Sports Jacks on the radio. The best news on 104.5 FM, the best sports on 690 AM.
This is Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Pod is, again, so unselfish and so such a good teammate. I expect him to have a huge game this weekend. It'll be fun.
More Super Bowl talk from Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta. Rams, Patriots, 6:30 on CBS47 on Sunday. And we will be ready to roll and get you all set up. Right now, no drama around the Super Bowl. There really isn't. I think Tom Brady did a good job of squashing that early by saying, hey, 0% chance I retire. In fact, the news out today is Robert Kraft is thinking of an extension with Tom Brady.
10-year extension.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, really. I doubt even in Robert Kraft's wildest dreams he would imagine that he would have to extend Tom Brady around the age of 41, 42 years old.
Yeah, you gotta lock that guy up long term. Yeah, if I'm there, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and Willie McGinnis earlier today, I was over. I tweeted this out actually, and McGinnis, who played on those Patriot teams and part of the franchise and won Super Bowls, he said he said it right, and I think you even said this the other day, Austin. You won't see it duplicated probably in any sport, and I think he took it a little further. He said not just because of the 9 Super Bowl appearances or the 5 or 6 Super Bowl wins, but he said because of the player-coach relationship. And, you might win 5 Super Bowls over 15 years. Somebody might do that. But it might not in this stage necessarily be with the same quarterback or the same coach, and definitely not both the same, right? I mean, San Francisco won for a long, long time, but they did it with Montana Young, Walsh, and Seifert.
Yeah.
So it's interesting if you look at it and go deeper that way. All the players that have come in and out of that locker room in New England, in and out of that building, but those 2 guys continue to be the same, and that continuity is probably unparalleled with the success they've had in sports.
Yeah, I mean, it's been remarkable. And you kind of, when you say that stuff, you say it in the past tense, but it's still going on. It's been remarkable. It continues to be remarkable, and it will be remarkable as we go forward.
That's the voice of Action Sports Jack's Stuart Weber.
Hi there. Hello.
Doing some work for the TV side moments ago.
People can peek in and see what I'm doing.
I'll tell you, if a kid wants to learn how to edit, you could put on the demonstration.
Edit.
Put on a clinic.
Look at Twitter and YouTube. Make sure the streams are looking good.
Yeah. We're working. We're rocking and rolling.
Yeah,
and by the way, feel free to comment on the stream so we can see the comments or questions. We can certainly do that. When we get back home next week, we'll be back to taking phone calls and all those good things. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Stuart Weber. You had a chance to catch up with some guys today from the NFL Network, some of the names we know.
It's really one of the cooler things about this Super Bowl week. Obviously, yesterday we had the opportunity to talk with the CBS broadcasters, and then today NFL Network. And it's nice to get them in that kind of setting where, people from all the different markets are there sitting with them, chatting it up, talking about whatever they want to talk about, because that's the funny part, is that every market has different ways they want to lead a conversation, including us in Jacksonville, which we have a lot of different ways we can take our conversations with these guys. And it is interesting. I know Marcel was saying it earlier. Sometimes you wonder how much are these guys going to be locked into what's going on down in Duval County. And, sometimes they surprise you. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they do surprise you, though, and really can talk with you and say, hey, this is one of 32 NFL teams. We should probably know something about them.
And by the way, the NFL Network now, they've built a roster.
Yeah,
just like CBS has Romo and Nance.
They had a two-deep roster.
NFL Network has built a roster of, I think it was 6 Pro Football Hall of Famers they have on display here this week.
Yeah.
And think about the Pro Bowls all in there, and it's pretty cool. I mean, they've done a good job, and they found the talent, the former player talent, and included in that Maurice Jones-Drew. We'll hear from Maurice coming up a little bit later on in the week. But these guys are good. They're insightful. The people like it. They like hearing from the players. They like the stories Austin Lane shares, and they like the analysis, kind of take you to a place very few people can take you.
Yeah, and today I had the chance to speak with Michael Irvin a little bit, and the conversation was going towards the young electric quarterback Patrick Mahomes, and just how he's kind of changing the game, as it were, in the NFL. So we talked a little bit about Mahomes, and that led to a discussion about the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We had quarterbacks that stayed still and just got rid of the ball. Now we go from that to the Aaron Rodgers. We're moving around, getting rid of the ball. And now we're coming to Patrick Mahomes. The guy's moving around, standing still, ain't even looking at his receiver and throwing the ball. It's phenomenal when you think about that process that he had gone through. And now everybody's looking for a young Patrick Mahomes. So, yeah, no doubt. I'm looking forward to watching him a lot of years.
We're in Jacksonville. They're looking for a quarterback again. How hard is it to find that guy, that quarterback, to lead your team?
Yeah, listen, nowadays it's so hard to find. It's still difficult to find that quarterback, but you get more bites, more turns at the apple now because of the salary caps, holding down some of the rookies, the money you pay the young quarterbacks. You get to keep the ties on them for 4 or 5 years before you have to worry about them, and if they don't work, you're not stuck with a whole lot of money on the cap. That's why I'm surprised Jacksonville did what it did. And they tried to stay pat at the quarterback position, and things didn't work out. Now, I like Blake Bortles. I like the kind of guy he is in the meetings I've had with him. But Jacksonville, we talked about this before, should have made a move for one of those quarterbacks. With all that they have had, all around, and look how that thing just tanked and went the other way. It just tanked and went the other way. Now, hopefully they can pick it back up this year. If they find a good quarterback, they can do them right, or maybe they go and trade for Nick Foles, or get somebody that somebody's letting go. But yeah, that's hard. That was hard to watch. I was most surprised about Jacksonville's turn.
And a lot of that has to do with that blending of not just the physical talents, but like you said, that locker room in there.
Yeah, exactly. But it'll be interesting to see what they do, because that's where it broke down in that locker room. It was the defense was doing great. Sooner or later, that thing breaks down. Guys, we can't keep holding up like this, and you guys keep paying them. And think about it, the quarterback's getting paid the most money. And everybody's focused on them like, man, you the call was going through this. That's just it's a hard thing to have in your locker room.
So you get a little bit of that hindsight is 2020, talking about they shouldn't have re-upped Bortles. Oh, they should have gone and got another quarterback, which it's easy to say now. Of course, when you're in that situation, no one's thinking that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, some people were thinking.
Yeah.
To their credit, some people said it, and probably a lot of people said it. But I still think it was very tough to do coming off an AFC Championship game. I mean, if you're in that building, if you're what he had done to progress. Later this week, I'll probably share some thoughts with Brandon Allen Jags practice squad guy, third-string guy, sixth-round pick, now with the Rams. And I caught up with him earlier this week, and I asked him, I was like, hey, December and January last year, didn't you think Blake was about ready to take this next step? Even September this year, you kind of thought, okay, here it is. They were patient. They waited. Good by the organization. They actually have, a payment structure from a salary standpoint that's not crazy. They can get out of it as long as he plays halfway, and then bam, all of a sudden. So I get the people. There's some people that said, hey, we knew this right away. It just wasn't really feasible. The only feasible thing was, or the right thing to potentially do, and I think you can criticize the organization, is they didn't bring up a plan B. Yeah. Plan B was, well, not really a plan. Not really drafting a young guy or bringing in – you weren't going to bring in a high-price free agent, not after you just extended Blake, but going to get a young guy already.
Exactly, and coming from Coughlin, who preaches competition, who preaches getting the best out of their players, the fact that they didn't bring in some guy, either a free agent or a rookie to try to push Blake Bortles to see exactly what he's made of. Obviously, they kind of backfired in the end. Bortles did what he did this past year, and he's probably out of Jacksonville now. So you would have loved to see him bring somebody else in as well, just to try to compete with him.
And I'll agree with what Michael Irvin said. It was hard to watch.
Yeah, it was hard to watch. It was a tough watch, I think, because everybody got excited, even outside of Jacksonville, to see some of the talent on this football team. And I think what he said, he liked Blake Bortles. Much like everybody in Jacksonville said, oh, I'm rooting for this guy. Let's do it. Let's see if he's got it. And for a little bit there, it looked like he had it, and just not enough of it. What's interesting to me as we listen to more and more people, they say, and we've talked about this, that Flacco, Foles is probably the way you'd like them to go, that veteran quarterback, to win right now. But we know also, what do we say about the Rams? Win on the rookie deal of the quarterback. Not with a $22 million quarterback, but on the rookie deal. Well, is that the smart way to go? But it's a 50-50 proposition at best. So it's a pickle to be in. I think it's hard to do.
Get both.
Well, and then you get both. And you certainly, and that's what we're going to do anyways, revamp this position. The question is, if they do commit to a Foles, who's a younger guy, Flacco, it makes perfect sense to draft one and have him. Foles, depending on how much it costs you and his age, do you really have to commit an early pick for a QB? I think I'll tell you what, they must go in circles on this topic. I know we do. At this time, we all do, I think. I would hesitate to say they're committed to one way or another at this point. Now, they've got another month or so before the league year happens, and they really have to make a decision on that front. Decision one is to say goodbye to Blake Bortles. Ballin' and Fallin' when we come back on ESPN 690 from Radio Row, Super Bowl 53.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter update.
I'm Aaron, and the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell under fire still for the missed call in the NFC Championship game that cost the Saints a trip to Atlanta. It's possible a new rule could be made this offseason by the competition committee, but Goodell says the issue's been debated for nearly 20 years and nothing has changed.
They have not voted for that in the past. It doesn't mean that we won't. It's something that we're going to put to the competition committee. But the reality is that's been at least an opposition philosophically for many clubs.
We're now 4 wake-ups away from Super Bowl Sunday, which you can find this weekend live on CBS47 Action News Jax. The NFL rumor mill is churning a little bit harder today after a reported lunch between Jets All-Pro safety Jamal Adams and Le'Veon Bell's agent. Adams denies he was doing any recruiting, despite publicly tweeting already that Bell should make his way to New Jersey. And for what it's worth, Steelers star wideout Juju Smith-Schuster on ESPN earlier today, he says he'd love to have Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown back in the huddle for 2019. The Warriors and Lakers do battle on the hardwood this Sunday night right here. Tip-off at 8 p.m. on ESPN 690.
There's nothing like sitting down for a personal conversation with Eddie and Chuck from Farah and Farah, and you can do that every Saturday at noon on News 104.5 WOKV. Join Eddie and Chuck every Saturday on the Consumer Law Hour, where they break down everything from personal injury to civil rights. Join them and be part of the conversation on the Consumer Law Hour, brought to you by Farah and Farah, every Saturday at noon on News 104.5 WOKV.
Taking a drive to date night, or taking a drive for the kids to get to school, or how about taking the kids to practice? Do all of that in a new Hyundai.
from the new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on the new ESPN690, and our family loves our Hyundai Santa Fe. The new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville is now open for business. This new state-of-the-art Hyundai dealership was built from the ground up with you in mind. No matter what you do, day to day, take a drive with Hyundai. They offer a lifetime warranty that is good anywhere in the United States. And along with the low prices, exceptional service, and lifetime warranty, you know what else they have? A no-risk, no-pressure approach. If you are not 100% satisfied, you may return your vehicle in the first 7 days for your money back. The Hyundai you want, the service you deserve, all with Jenkins' exclusive lifetime warranty, no matter where you drive to. Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville.
The iPhone XR is here at T-Mobile, and there's a whole lot to love, like those perfect portrait mode selfies you're going to share.
Nice.
And how Memojis now turn every FaceTime with the kids into fun time. In fact, the only thing you'll love more than your iPhone XR is getting it included in the price when you get an unlimited plan. That's right, get both unlimited and iPhone XR included for just $40 a month. Sure, you can get unlimited somewhere else, but for the same price at T-Mobile, you get unlimited and iPhone XR. Join today and get iPhone XR included with your unlimited plan for just $40 a line for 4 new lines. Call 1-800-T-Mobile or visit a store today.
$30 for essentials plus $10 for iPhone XR with auto pay and qualifying trade-ins via 36 bill credits. Customers may notice lower speeds and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs per month. Video at 480p for well-qualified buyers plus taxes and fees. Contact us before canceling or remaining balances due. Qualifying service and finance agreements required. 0 down plus $20.84 per month for 36 months. Full price $749.99, 0% APR.
Parents, there's a better option for your child's development and education. Seacoast Christian Academy is a private school here in Jacksonville that offers challenging and engaging educational opportunities. Focused on a college preparatory curriculum that is backed by strong Christian values, they take on children as young as a year old through 12th grade. Right now, Seacoast Christian Academy is enrolling students who have the Step Up Scholarship. Step Up is an income-based scholarship program that most don't realize they qualify for. And Seacoast Christian Academy is accepting applications right now. For more information, call them or click SeacoastChristianAcademy.com.
Introducing Salt Life Lager, the perfect beer for those who live the salt life. Salt Life Lager is also the perfect beer for those who live the outdoor life, the beach life, the fishing life, the festival life, the boat life, the yacht life, the tailgate life, the stay home and relax life, even the sit around and talk about life.
I get you.
In fact, Salt Life Lager is the perfect beer for just about any life, starting with yours. Salt Life Lager, a salty state of mind. Available now at ABC Liquors, Publix, and Winn-Dixie locations. Visit saltlifebeer.com for more information. Must be at least 21 to drink. Please drink responsibly.
SportsCenter updates at the top and bottom of every hour. And the latest breaking news and sports around the clock. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. This is ESPN 690.
You watch Action Sports Jacks on CBS47 and FOX30.
Now Action Sports Jacks is on your radio. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Here's your host, Brent Martineau.
Welcome back here to Radio Row, Super Bowl 53. Wow, did you just get food?
I just got food, man.
So did I. Outstanding.
Thanks, man.
4 mil chili.
Okay.
So we got some chili
chips and dip, man.
chips. Oh, this is fantastic.
That's a winning combination.
My gosh, how did that happen?
It happened because I'm hungry and I saw this guy walk around with some chili and some cheese.
Would you
and some
put
chips.
your hand up in the
air?
air?
Yeah, I was like,
is that what you did? You waved
over
them over
here, sir. Oh yeah, I waved them over, man.
Nice job.
Sometimes
All
you
right,
gotta
balling
wrangle
and
them in.
falling segment. That's balling.
Yeah, that is balling.
I'm hungry too.
So we starting up here?
Well, yeah, we are,
you
but
gonna
I
eat
still
chips?
kind of want to talk. I don't really know what to do with this now. Look at that right there, folks. That looks good if you're watching on the stream. That's good.
I'm not mad at that.
Nope. All right. I'm not mad at you.
All right. Balling. Speaking of another guy who looks good. All right, that was a horrible segue, but balling is Rob Ryan. Saw him.
Wait a minute. You said he looks good?
Oh, I mean his hair, man. I'm about the hair.
Yeah. I don't even know if
no
Rob
man,
Ryan's mom says that.
It's all about the hair. I mean, But I'm going ball on Rob Ryan. You know, he just got a new job with the linebackers at the Washington Redskins, coaching them. He's by far the best hair on the sidelines. Clay Matthews was up there for a while, but man, Rob Ryan's on a different level, especially with that beard, kind of wizard look. I saw him about an hour ago walking around here, and yeah, dude still seemed to be liking it, loving football and stuff. So interested to see what he can bring to Washington.
Yeah, the Ryans are interesting, right? Just obviously the whole family. But I think David Garrard tells us that he loved playing for Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
Loved.
One of the ultimate player coaches.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And that's pretty cool, right? I mean, those guys, I would imagine Rob Ryan's kind of a similar way.
Yeah.
He feels like he'd be good to play for.
Yeah.
Like, just fun.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, Rob, it's those coordinator guys, and not Rex Ryan. Obviously, he's more of a head coach guy. But Rob Ryan and now Wade Phillips, those guys have interesting personalities, right? They kind of come in all different shapes and sizes.
Sure.
And you get, like, the mad scientist kind of guy. I mean, heck, you get your Todd Wash, who looks like he's ready to hop on a motorcycle. And
Tatted up and everything.
Yeah, I mean, and then you get your Rob Ryans of the world. It's an interesting cast of characters where I feel like the offensive coordinators, they all kind of look the same.
Yeah.
They feel the same. They got, like, the pencil behind the ear.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The offensive coordinators that I've come across on the teams that I played for, they seem more of like I guess they have like an analytical approach. You know, as opposed to a defensive coordinator where it's like, you know, passionate, in your face, yelling. And I mean, you know, not to take away from Coach Tuck. I mean, Coach Tuck was a great coach, but you know, he was an intense individual, man.
Yeah.
And I think every single defensive coordinator I played for kind of had that mystique about him.
And obviously, you were around him a little bit more, but I would say just to take that one step further, sum it up as: do the defensive guys have more personality than the offensive guys in terms of from the coaches in your experience?
I wouldn't say more personality, but it's definitely more of a passion. Because I mean that's kind of the whole defensive persona.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
the
I
mindset.
mean, yeah, it is the mindset. If you're on offense, you know, it's more mechanical. I mean, it's like a well-oiled machine. Defense, man, it's you get out there and hit somebody.
Go get it.
Exactly. So I kind of experienced that. But on the other side, though, if we're talking offensive line coaches, man, might be some of the craziest
Very
dudes
good
ever.
point.
You know,
Yeah.
so I think there's something about maybe just being in the trenches where it, you know, brings out the warrior of NFL coaches.
Yeah, it kind of does fit the position.
It does, yes.
Absolutely. All right, my turn for balling, and well, quite frankly, people, it's myself. This guy hadn't played darts in like 2 decades, which I don't know why I haven't played darts in so long, because darts is kind of fun and cool.
Yeah.
And so just to go back to last night, we looked for, it took us what, 3 places, and probably an hour and 15 minutes to find a dartboard.
Yep.
Because Austin and Stewart got hung up on the dartboard thing. Like they started talking trash. So we were back at the hotel, ready to pretty much call it a night in my mind. And all of a sudden it was, oh, you think you're good at darts?
Yep.
Bring it on. And I think Weber was doing a lot of the trash talking.
Oh, I would say 95% of the trash talking was coming from Stewart.
He's got one at his house.
Yes.
I mean, he's talking about like the rubber tips compared to the metal tips and all this stuff.
Yep. Not being humble.
And so we finally find a place. Had to go back out, shorter night's sleep, and where were we? Oh, a place called Maggie's. It was like a pub kind of place.
Yep.
The guy had to like dig for the darts.
Yes.
Like this was so intense that we actually called places to find out if they had, because it was a little false advertising. Some of the places said they had it, and we went to
Google
the one and they didn't have it.
Let us down a little
So
bit. Yeah.
anyway, long story short, which is already a long story, all 5 of us play darts. We play cricket.
Yes. Well, and Stewart wanted to play 501, like 501. 501. Yeah. I mean, if people don't understand that, that's not a game you want to play in a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand
You don't know
that
it either. Yep.
But we played cricket.
Yep.
And I won.
And for those of you wondering, Stewart dead last, right? Dead last. Okay, sorry, Marcel. So
Marcel had never played darts.
He was good.
He did a good job.
He had some swagger behind him.
And we were with David Hickox, who used to work at our place, and
Yeah.
he was helped us find a place, and he actually did a good job too. But
There was
it
one
came down to
point-
you and me.
Well, there was one point where like Stewart hit like the literally the bottom of the dartboard. It wasn't even like the dartboard. It was like where you put like a coin in or something like that.
Yeah. It was actually like an eagle.
Exactly.
Right, and he hit the eagle.
Yeah. So poor performance from Stewart. Obviously, I'm disappointed because I was kind of talking a big game too. I play darts all the time back home. So the fact that you beat me, Brent, and I'm not going to knock your form, but you kind of look like Randy Johnson trying to throw a slider. But, hey, at the end of the day, you still got the job done, man. Props to you.
And I got it
over
done.
the line, though.
And see, there's this hashtag over the line that's out there now.
Over the
I
line.
was not over the line.
Over the line a couple times. Don't want to say anything to you because you're the boss. I wasn't going to say anything to you, but it was getting a little ridiculous of how much you were cheating and how close you were getting.
Now, meanwhile, we got
whatever.
the 6'6" guy who could basically reach out and touch the board.
Hey, I mean,
and you couldn't win.
You don't see like Deontay Wilder complaining because he has a long reach. I mean, he used it to his advantage, and that's what I did to mine.
And you got triple Allen Iverson.
Yeah, so
that was a bad moment for you.
Okay, I'm gonna bring that part up too. Fine. So
I'm just gonna say it in passing.
Okay, yeah.
People can interpret that the way they want. What happens when you got you got an Allen Iverson?
So basically, what happened? I got triple Allen Iverson, and the results followed, and that's probably why I have a raging headache right now, sitting on Radio Row.
So we did have fun. And
it was a blast.
This is not related at all, but I have a dartboard at home that's been unused, and we really don't know where to put it.
Yep.
So we actually just moved offices. The Action Sports Jack's office has moved, and the dartboard is going in next week. I'm bringing it to the office, and it's totally unrelated. We were doing that before, and then all of a sudden we got on darts. So, like, I'm 1-0 and hadn't played in 2 decades. Wait until you see what I am in, 6 months.
Yep.
Look out, people. All right, time for falling.
Falling.
You fell.
I did fall. I'm still falling. My head is just doing mental gymnastics right now from hitting that triple Iverson last night. Anyways, fallen. Got to go to Maroon 5.
Yeah.
They canceled their press conference. A lot of people believe it's because they've been getting a lot of scrutiny on social media and by the fan bases of the Super Bowl. Listen, sometimes you got to face the music, and sometimes you got to stand up to people and answer the hard questions. So if I'm Maroon 5, I'm doing that press conference. I'm saying, hey, we're here to play the Super Bowl, put on a good show. Hopefully play the SpongeBob song with what everyone's talking about. But if you're a fan of the Super Bowl and you're a dude, I get it. Like, you're probably not the biggest Maroon 5 guy. I couldn't name 5 songs from them. But you got to understand, they're trying to cater to a different demographic. Guys are going to turn and watch the Super Bowl. It's just what guys do. I think the whole Maroon 5 thing was to get, maybe more of the female audience involved because girls love them some Adam Levine, so.
And they do love the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. So as far as the hate online and whatnot, if I'm Maroon 5, I don't really take it too seriously. But for whatever reason, they canceled the press conference, and there's some backlash.
Yeah,
with that.
I didn't listen to the full answer, but actually Goodell somebody asked him that question.
Yeah.
Why aren't they here? And he answered it. And I think it was pretty, predictable
generic.
answer.
Yeah,
But whatever. Maroon 5's not here. They'll be there on Sunday, performing at halftime if you like them. All right, last one for me. It's real quick. I have a Pepsi in my hand, and fallen is Coca-Cola. We're in Atlanta, and there's no Coca-Cola around here because of the NFL.
Yep.
The NFL's a Pepsi. Now, there's a couple of stadiums, and Atlanta is one of them, where if you go inside the stadium, at least during like a regular game, they will have Coke.
Okay.
But all the other stadiums usually have Pepsi, like, if you're in the press box or somewhere else. But because it's Atlanta, I think they've worked out a deal where they have Coke, but not for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that's a mistake because I'm just saying Coke is way better than Pepsi.
Yeah, but Pepsi is the choice of a new generation.
Yeah.
Or it was. I don't know what happened with that.
I mean, Diet Coke is way better.
All right.
It's like the Christmas M&Ms, peanut butter M&Ms.
Yeah.
Peanut M&Ms are better than like the everyday M&Ms. I don't know why.
I'll give it to you. And like as far from like a soda standpoint, I'm just
you don't drink soda, so you don't care.
So I really don't care. Yeah. I mean,
all right.
I want to feel sorry for you, but I don't. And you beat me in darts, so I'm still kind of bitter towards you. It's just the way it's going to be.
That's ballin', and we might be about to wrestle next on ESPN690.
It's Golick and Wingo.
Hall of Famer Tony Dungy. Rooney Rule in place. A lot of people say it's not working. What's going on with this, and what could be the remedy for this?
Ron Rivera, minority defensive coach, has been to a Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin, minority defensive coach, has won a Super Bowl. Anthony Lynn, minority running back coach. So that just kind of echoes my point. It doesn't have to be quarterback coach.
Golick and Wingo, weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Hi, this is Dale Murray from Murray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Superstore in Stark, where the customer's always number one. Now that's going the distance. Shazam! Don't fumble your next purchase with those big city dealers and pay those big city prices. With our unbeatable customer service, selection, and 15-year, 150,000-mile warranty on every qualified vehicle means there's no need to shop anywhere else. It's simple. If Murray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram doesn't have it, the manufacturer doesn't build it. And we'll trade anything from old Nike gear to a case of beer. Be American, buy Murray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Check out our new inventory during the Start Something New event and compare our prices online at ShazamAuto.com. You'll see why everybody finds the end zone at Murray Superstores. Now that's a touchdown. Highway 301, half-mile north of Walmart. I'll be waiting for you. And remember, at any Murray Superstore, it's all about you. Shazam!
Hire the wrong roofer? Get it fixed at jnmroofing.com. Missing shingles? jnmroofing.com. Small pond in your living room every time it rains? jnmroofing.com. Bad golfers pelting your roof with golf balls? jnmroofing.com. Been through the hurricane last year, but probably won't this year? jnmroofing.com. Selling your home and need a new roof? jnmroofing.com. When you need a roofing company, we're the ones with the umbrella. We got you covered at jnmroofing.com. License number CCC 1330298.
Are you afraid of the IRS because you have unfiled or unpaid taxes? Most don't realize that having unfiled federal taxes is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in jail for each unfiled return. With the IRS, it's never a question of if they'll come, but when. Don't live in fear. Call J. David Tax Law now for a no-cost consultation at 904-606-0009. That's 904-606-0009. Or find us on the web at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
Hey, boss, check this out. 'Twas the week after Christmas, a scene to behold. At the do-it-yourself alarm company, what was about to unfold? So many alarms being returned in frustration by unhappy customers all across the nation. The power dome was ugly, the cords are on the floor, and no local monitoring was a problem for sure. But smart folks are out there and they shop around for the best security company that can be found. The name is Safe Touch. Security is game. Safe Touch is the best. The others are just lame.
What are you on Safe Touch's payroll now?
What, you don't like it?
Just so I know you haven't completely lost it, tell me the Crooks Are Us motto again.
Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah, and don't you forget it.
Sorry, boss.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
From the NBA to the NFL, we've got you covered. The worldwide leader in sports. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. This is ESPN 690. Now, back to Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau
on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Hey, welcome back to Radio Row in Atlanta, Georgia. Super Bowl 53. Another chilly day here in Atlanta, but I think it's going to warm up after tonight and will be a little more seasonable in the Atlanta area. All right, Austin Lane, I'm going to put you on the spot real quick, and then we're going to get to an interview with Tony Baselli.
Hit me
with
it.
What is your gut? I know what you want. I know what we all want. But what is your gut right now, midweek, here at Super Bowl 53?
Yep.
Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2019 announced on Saturday, late afternoon, early evening. Are we getting good news on Baselli, or are we going to have to wait another year? What's your gut tell you?
I'm saying good news just because for the fact I love to put positive vibes out there, you know, in the universe.
Speak it into existence.
Speak it into existence. So I'm going to say Tony gets in.
You know, it's interesting. I don't feel it yet. I don't feel where it's at. But talking to Tony today, he was in a good place. Mm-hmm. And talking to some folks from the Jags as well, I think they've really pushed it hard this year. And some behind-the-scenes stuff that they've really pushed to try to get it going. And so that gives me a little confidence that you might be right. It's such a hard thing to gauge and get a feel of. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we all hope it happens. We've been saying that for years. But we're just trying to say, okay, is it going to happen? And I think without the offensive lineman getting in the last few years, I think there's a chance here for Tony Baselli. And I said it multiple times. If you look at Faneca, Mawai, and Hutchinson, the other three linemen out of the 15 finalists, along with Baselli, I don't think any of those guys can say, hey, I was the best at my position, maybe to ever play the game, or one of the best at their position. I think you would go down other people's names pretty, not deep, but at least a little ways before you get to them. I don't think you go, and I don't think many people think that you go very far before you get to Tony Baselli's name in that context. So that could help Tony.
And especially being, the first Jacksonville Jaguar to make it. I mean, that's a huge deal too, and I think the NFL would like to have that.
I would think so.
Yeah, and obviously the city
have your teams represented.
Exactly, and the city of Jacksonville would love to have it as well. So take that into account, I mean, that's something you can add to the mix.
This isn't a script, though, right?
It isn't a script,
It's a vote instead, 48 members, and we'll see what happens. I caught up with Tony Baselli earlier today, and like I said, he's in a good place. His thoughts on potential enshrinement later this week at Super Bowl 53.
I feel like we've done this before. How are you in the 2019 version?
A little more, about the same probably. I probably enjoy it less each year, and that's not good, only because I know what to expect coming Saturday, and I don't want to get my hopes up because it's a bad feeling when the last 2 years haven't been a great feeling when you find out you're not in. So, but it's fun. It's great to be around. I enjoy Super Bowl week. I enjoy being here. I enjoy working for Westwood One, doing the games and getting to talk to both teams. So that part's a lot of fun. It's like my son told me. He goes, "Dad, you should be enjoying." He called me this morning. He says, "You should be enjoying this more." And I'm like, "You're right. I should, because it's how many you don't know how many opportunities you're going to get to be in a situation like this."
That's an awesome statement from your kids, because we were just talking about it yesterday. We said, "Hey, you're a top 15 guy. You should relish this stuff. This is outstanding." But the crash on Saturday, the last couple of years, I mean, what a juxtaposition. I mean, is it hard to describe? Is it like losing a game? I mean, what is that like has it been like on those Saturdays? We see it in your face, man. We can tell.
It's, I don't know what to compare it to. I guess the way I feel, what I hear when the last 2 years when I've heard them come and call me and say, "You're not in," I've heard is, "You're not good enough." And as a competitive person, I don't like that. And so, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's not like I can say, "Let's line up and let's play and let's see and determine who gets to go to the Hall of Fame." So it's been a tough pill to swallow the last couple of years, and but at the end of the day, it's supposed to be a hard process. All those guys are great players. The guys who got in the last 2 years when I didn't, great players. Hopefully, I'm one of the 5 this year. I'll tell you what, it'll get, because of what I've gone through, I'll have some empathy for the guys that don't get in, if that's the case. And if I don't get in, I'll look at the 5 and say, you know what, they're great players.
We're starting to get a little angry for you. I know you're not supposed to, but the thing is, the more and more I do this and cover you at these games and this week, I feel like if you Google Tony Baselli, everybody says, for sure Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I just asked Brian Billick, for sure Hall of Famer. Everybody says that. Yet it's the process that kind of holds that up a little bit. It's hard to attach when everybody says, hey, it's a definite thing. You're one of the best to ever do it at your position. Okay, well, what's taking so long?
Yeah, I think that is hard, because, I mean, at one point it's flattering to hear people say that. People have come up to me and said, you were the best tackle in your era. You got cut short, but you were the best. And I want to say, is like, okay, can you go tell the 48 guys that? Like, these are respected football people.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've heard some of the voters say that. And I'm like, well, then I still don't have a gold jacket, and I'm on the wrong side of the room so far. But it's a tough process. I always go back to, Brent, is if you and I sat down and took that list of 15 guys, take my name out of it, the 14 guys, we would have a debate back and forth. I was sat at a table last night at dinner with about 15 people, and we were talking about cornerbacks. And it was between Ty Law and Champ Bailey. And I was surprised, not surprised because I was just listening, but the room says, well, Ty Law has to get in before Champ Bailey. I think the common perception is that Champ Bailey's going in this year.
Yeah.
But these were football guys said, no, Ty Law, they're both great corners, but Ty Law was just as good, if not better, for the period of time that he was playing. And so that's the bottom line is they're both Hall of Famers. They're both great players. But that's how tough it is. We could have that debate going down because it's subjective at some level.
Yeah.
And so that's the hard part. It's part of the process. I don't know how you make it better. It kind of is what it is.
One last one on that. Outside of your wife, I'm not sure Tony Baselli and sexy has been mentioned too much. She might say it, I don't know. But you played a position that isn't sexy. And I feel like because of this day and age, and now you get further and further away from you guys like Hutchinson and Faneca and yourself, and Mawai's a little bit more recent, that almost hurts you a little bit. They want to celebrate the sexy a little bit, you know, the stats, the guys that played and delivered numbers.
We have no numbers, and so I think it's hard to evaluate us as a position group. You have to really watch the game. You have to know the game. You have to trust what people are telling you. Sometimes perception, sometimes what market you play in matters. You know, a lot. And it shouldn't, but it does. And so I think it is hard to evaluate us and where we fit in the process because we don't have touchdowns or rushing yards or whatever. But listen, we're used to it. I think we've been looked down as a position our whole entire lives since we started playing in high school. No one's thought much about us, so why should it change for the Hall of Fame?
All right, last one, you'll call the game or be part of the radio broadcast. How cool is that for you still? And do you tell yourself you're calling games for the greatest of all time with Tom Brady? I mean, do you still enjoy that part of it, even as a former player? Now you're in a different role.
Yeah, I love it. I think I've been talking all week. I think a lot of people have Patriot fatigue, they say, and we're tired of the Patriots. Not me. I get to call the game, which is amazing. I'm on the sidelines doing it from there. Be around it, see it. The last 3 years, I've done this, and the Patriots have been in every year. Different teams on the NFC, but Patriots have been consistent. And someone said, "Are you tired of the Patriots?" I said, "No." I said, "Hopefully one day I'm going to be an old man sitting around with my grandkids, and I'm going to say, I got to witness the greatest sports dynasty in the history of any sport," because that's what it is to me. In a league that's set up for parity, for everyone to come to the middle and no one to be able to stay at top for very long, they've done it for 18 years. 8 straight AFC Championship games. This is their 9th Super Bowl. It's unheard of. And to be a part of it, even if I'm just covering it, is an honor for me, and I love it, and I relish it because I know how hard it is to win football games. I played with a lot of good players, and we fell short twice. It's not easy what they've done, and I respect it and have so much just so much admiration for what they've done as a franchise.
Tony Boselli will call the game, be part of the broadcast team on Westwood One on Sunday. Of course, will he be a Hall of Famer by Sunday? He'll find out on Saturday afternoon. Really enjoyed my time with Tony there. I just thought he had a good energy about him, good perspective on him. I love the story about his kid telling him, "Hey, Dad, enjoy this thing, man." And sometimes you have to be reminded of it, even though it's been disappointing. And I've talked to him for the last 3 years about this. I've been here with him through this process. And by the time tomorrow hits and Friday hits, it does kind of wear on you. And you can tell. You can see it on his face. He's answered the same questions. He's like, I have no idea what's going to happen. I thought there was a vibrancy to Boselli, which was pretty cool. He said 2 things that really stuck out. One, when he finds out that he didn't get in the last 2 years, he basically thinks it's been like someone telling him you're not good enough. And that's not the fact, but it feels that way to him. And the other part is I thought he did a great job of illustrating the process of his dinner last night in the conversation about Ty Law and Champ Bailey, because I would say the same. I think Bailey should be in. Numbers, 52 interceptions, 12. I covered Ty Law. Ty Law was great, but to me, Champ Bailey, I would put Champ Bailey in. He was saying other folks would say Ty Law should be in. So there's the debate in that room that happens every single year.
Absolutely, and Tony being such a solid guy, like you mentioned, I have a pretty cool story with Tony Boselli, actually. So when I got drafted back in 2010, it was the first practice of training camp. Tony was out there kind of introducing himself, saying what's up to me. And, there's a guy that hopefully is a Hall of Famer coming up to me, 5th-round draft pick out of nowhere from Murray State. He kind of came up to me and said, "Hey, welcome to the Jaguars. Anything you need, I'm here." He said it was a pleasure to meet you. I go, "Well, Tony, it's kind of funny, man, because this isn't the first time we've actually met." I said, back in 1995 when I was about 6-7 years old, I was at that training camp where you were in Stevens Point, and I actually made it a habit because he was the draft pick. He was the big guy, so I made it a habit to try to go up to him. I got his autograph, I gave him a high five and everything. So that was my introduction to meeting Tony Boselli, and I told him that story. He's like, "Dude, you're making me feel way too damn old out here." I'm like, "Yeah, it wasn't my intention, man." But
Tony has stayed young, but you probably made him feel old.
Yeah, I made him feel definitely old. But hey, make no mistake about it, dude still looks great. I mean, he could probably still play to this day, man. He's in great shape and everything. And I'm sad I didn't get a chance to obviously play against him or play with him on the Jaguars. But it's cool watching some of his film.
Pretty cool. They always say it was hot at Stevens Point that year.
Yes,
Tony Boselli, hopefully he gets in the Hall of Fame. The cool part about Tony for me is he takes us all on the ride. Everybody back in Jacksonville, he says, "Come on board. Hop on," and hopefully we'll ride all the way to Canton, Ohio. More to come on ESPN 690 from Radio Row, Super Bowl 53 next.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter update.
I'm Aaron, and word on the street is that New York Jets All-Pro safety Jamal Adams was spotted out having lunch with Le'Veon Bell's agent. The Steelers running back is expected to field a pretty big offer from Gang Green this offseason, but if Steelers wideout Juju Smith-Schuster had his way, the 2019 Steelers offense would look very familiar.
If it's my opinion, obviously I want AB, Le'Veon back on the team. Dude, you see how the season goes when Bell and, we have Bell and James Conner rotating, smashing. Yeah. Obviously playing with AB has been amazing. He's been a great mentor. And, dude, he makes plays.
Meanwhile, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has acknowledged that the refs made a mistake with their non-call on the Rams' pass interference play in the NFC Championship, but he's skeptical the Rules Committee will actually draft changes for next year. And finally, Lamont Evans will be the third college basketball coach found guilty of federal conspiracy bribery charges related to kickbacks from agents for players. As part of the plea, Evans could face up to 2 years in the clink and has to give back $22,000 he illegally took in bribes. Steph Curry and the Warriors face up against the LeBron-less Lakers Sunday night right here. Tip-off at 8 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Hi, it's Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park, where our no-bull pricing and express sales process will have you out the door in your new Chevy fast. No bull means transparent, easy-to-understand pricing without the gimmicks or fluffy add-ons that just slow the process down. Fast, fair, and transparent is what you can always expect at Gordon Chevy. And right now, we have our new Silverado starting at $24,900, our new Colorado starting at $23,900, only at the money-saving end of Landing Boulevard and online at GordonChevy.com. Chevy. Find new roads.
There's nothing like sitting down for a personal conversation with Eddie and Chuck from Farah and Farah, and you can do that every Saturday at noon on News 104.5 WOKV. Join Eddie and Chuck every Saturday on the Consumer Law Hour, where they break down everything from personal injury to civil rights. Join them and be part of the conversation on the Consumer Law Hour, brought to you by Farah and Farah, every Saturday at noon on News 104.5 WOKV.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
SportsCenter.
I'm Steve Lennox. Changes to instant replay, a hot topic of discussion for NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell today during his Super Bowl news conference in Atlanta. Goodell was also asked about the Rooney Rule and teams' hiring of minority coaches.
We don't look at the success or failure of the Rooney Rule in one-year increments. We've had the Rooney Rule around for nearly 20 years. It's had an extraordinary impact on the NFL. Over 20 clubs have hired minority coaches since that period of time.
Goodell said it was up to individual teams on deciding whether or not to sign Colin Kaepernick. Patriots owner Robert Kraft said he wouldn't have reservations on extending Tom Brady's contract. Brady has one more year on his current deal. LeBron James rolled out for Thursday's game against the Clippers. That announced today by the Lakers. Kyrie Irving dealing with a left hip strain. He will miss his second straight game tonight as the Celtics play host to the Hornets. Arizona Diamondbacks have agreed to a one-year, $3.25 million deal with free agent Greg Holland. Deal includes $3.5 million in performance bonuses.
At Pizza Hut, you can get a large 2-topping pizza for $7.99 when you order online, delivery, or carryout. Don't miss out. Order today at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
You watch Action Sports Jax on CBS47 and FOX30.
Now Action Sports Jax is on your radio. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Here's your host, Brent Martineau.
Welcome back from Radio Row, Super Bowl 53, Atlanta, Georgia. Brent Martineau along with Austin Lane, Marcel Robinson, Stuart Weber, Justin Kuzart. Kuz back in the friendly confines. What's happening back there today, Kuz? You've done a great job getting everything all sorted out. We're working on all cylinders. I think clicking on all cylinders is the phrase.
Yeah, it's definitely clicking. But yeah, everything's going well over here. I'm just kind of sitting in a room by myself. It's kind of weird when you think about it, you know? Like I'm in a closet by myself.
But isn't that what you do like all night on WAPE?
That's what I'm saying. Like my job is to sit in closets and play music or listen to people talk about sports.
Kuz, is the garbage bag still up in the window there?
I can confirm it fell down. It is on the floor.
All right. We'll as soon as we get back, we'll go and fix that up.
Yeah, well,
it's still there.
I do feel like at least the hostility in you and Austin's relationship has maybe cooled because you're not together. So
yeah, well, give it a couple more days and it's going to be Monday again, and back to firing on all cylinders. The hate is real.
Hey, Kuz, when you got the Drive and Dish podcast, of course, go check it out, everybody. Talking a little NBA, and they do it very well. Kuz running the point. Is LeBron James going to play again or what?
Dude, so here's the thing. My theory with LeBron James is I think he's holding out because he wants Luke Walton gone. And there's some rumors about that, how LeBron's camp wants him out. But it's not up to LeBron, and he's done this in the past. So I think he might just be staying quote unquote injured until he can get his way, kind of deal.
I don't like that stuff. I listen. I love LeBron James. Love him. I think I'll say it all the time. I'll go back and say it again. I think he's the ultimate athlete. I don't think you could ask much more of an athlete than we do of LeBron James, and he delivers. I think he's done a fantastic job. If you think about how big that guy is, and I don't mean in stature, I mean in global icon, and how he behaves and holds on, all these things. There are some things that happen. I get it. But I think he's done a really good job of being a role model and all that stuff. But I don't like this stuff. I mean, it feels like he's already engineered so many things in the past, whether it's getting love or coaches in Cleveland or now going to L.A. or going to Miami in the first place. I'm all for the players. I think they should be able to make their money. I don't mind them having a little bit of power. I don't know, sometimes in the NBA and sometimes a guy like LeBron just feels like they have too much of that. Like Tiger Woods didn't hold the PGA Tour hostage. Like sometimes it feels some of the guys in the NBA hold that league hostage.
I don't want to come across the wrong way when I say this, but when you're talking NBA coaches, and like I said, I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but like, do you think Luke Walton is the reason why they're not winning ball games right now? Like, I mean, is it that drastic of a thing where he needs to be gone? I mean,
well, they're not winning ball games right now because LeBron's not playing.
Oh no, exactly. But like, if you're an NBA coach, what, you drop a couple plays here or there, but you kind of just sit back and let the game happen. It's not like you're in the NFL where you're calling plays or like you're going over schemes and whatnot. I mean, granted, there is some of that in the NBA, but it's more of just kind of put it in cruise control and let the players take over. So I think
that's fair, but like Greg Popovich, you give him a lot of credit. I mean, is he doing more than the average guy? I mean, because what he's doing this year might be one of his best coaching jobs ever.
Bill Jackson as well. I mean,
but Phil always had the great players, so he could. I mean, he had a system, and he could sit back.
Yeah,
watch Michael play or Kobe play.
Yeah, but it's just getting to my point, like where Luke Walton's not the reason why they're losing right now.
But there's a chemistry problem. There's a chemistry problem.
I guess.
I mean, is it any different than Aaron Rodgers and McCarthy? Seemed like that got a little ugly.
It's a good point.
It's really what's bubbled a little bit the last couple of years with the Patriots, Belichick and Brady. Are they at odds? If that thing goes, and they're not, I don't think it is. I think there might have been like a little thing here or there that got that story out there. But if it was so toxic, they wouldn't win.
But this has kind of been the trend with LeBron. This isn't the first time we've heard that he's had a problem. Well, supposedly. I mean, he hasn't come out and said that.
Yeah.
He doesn't want Luke Walton there, but it happened in Cleveland as well.
Yeah, that's I don't like that. I want LeBron to stay squeaky clean. I don't want him to come off like this, Kuz.
A lot of people forget too. He tried to do it with Eric Spoelstra in Miami, and it obviously didn't work there. So he's had it not happen before too. So, and obviously you look at what the Heat did after that. So it obviously paid off, and they were able to win with him. So yeah, it seems like a diva thing, and I also think a lot of the hate is when LeBron went there, everyone really hyped up this lineup that they have, and I think maybe we kind of overhyped it, and we're seeing the real Lakers right now where everyone thought they were going to be a lot better than they were.
Well, I just think it's unfair to grade the Lakers without LeBron James right now. I mean, it's 20-game stretch without him, and they're not going to win a lot of games without LeBron James, but obviously Cleveland isn't either. So that's what happened. Kuz, that's a really good point, though, on the Spoelstra topic. But here, and it makes me think of this. Pat Riley was there. And so Pat Riley could say, hey, LeBron, settle down, dude. We're doing it my way. I've won before. And he had the credibility to do that. Well, the Lakers have that guy, too. They got Magic Johnson. So Cleveland didn't have that.
No.
I mean, Cleveland, LeBron was mayor, governor, owner, GM, coach, player. I mean, he was whatever he wanted to be that day. So that's interesting. That was a really good call on the Spoelstra stuff. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out for the Lakers and LeBron James. I just hope he's back soon. I like watching him play. I don't like the Lakers, but I like watching him play, and then we'll see how this Anthony Davis stuff shakes out as well. But you got to be careful giving the players they can't. I hope that's not it. One other thing about this story, and I said this to Austin the other day. We saw it on a headline, I think, on ESPN. LeBron's camp. Like, I understand these guys all have entourages and handlers, and I mean, you can't do everything yourself. But LeBron's camp, that reminds me of, like, the LeVar Ball situation. Mm-hmm. LeBron makes every freaking decision there is. Mm-hmm. It's not LeBron's camp. Yeah. So it's either LeBron or it's not.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, LeBron's camp shouldn't be getting the headline.
I was going to say the fact that we actually give them time of day, like, they're in their headlines and they're in the news, like, we don't know who those people are, and who cares? Like, what do they know? It's just, but it's the day of social media, Brent, and that's just the way it is. At least with the Balls, I mean, you knew who was talking. Like,
true.
They're really
there was a mouthpiece.
Polarizing individuals. With the camp, it's just, I don't know, some puppet, some kind of puppet master pulling the strings, I guess. But I have no idea who they're talking about.
Drive and Dish podcast, thousands and millions of listeners. Coos, right?
Oh, yeah, always. And we have a running joke that there's always some breaking NBA news that happens right after we finish recording, which is what happened with the Anthony Davis thing. So we're trying to get a midweek set up. We got a few Pelicans reporters on the phone that we're trying to find some time to chat with them about.
Hey, pump it up a little bit, Coos. Where do you find it?
Yeah, you can find it everywhere. Just search Drive and Dish podcast in your podcast listening. We're on Spotify. We're on Google Play. We're on iTunes. And, you can find us on social media by searching the same stuff.
Coos, we keep getting the question. I know you're working on the podcast. Our podcast is getting closer and closer.
Can confirm. I listened to the audio today of the show earlier today, and we should have it up today.
Whoa. Don't prompt. Now, listen.
That's big news.
Under promise, over deliver.
I know. That's why I'm doing it. We're ready to go.
That's a good point.
I feel like I've probably over promised and under delivered a lot lately. And we might do it again because I told you, Austin, you should not have said his name.
I know that feeling, man. I'm sitting here just looking for DDP to come by, and I don't see him. So
this is what happens. Today. It happens on Radio Row, man. They get stopped.
I feel like a kid that went to the North Pole to find out Santa Claus isn't real. Like, that's where I'm at right now. I'm pretty devastated.
Our PD was pumped that he was going to be on. I'm telling you that right now, Austin.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Of course, Nick. Is he back?
He is back. He stopped by and said, hey, he's in the building.
I can't believe Nick waited that long to come back from after having the kid. And, I mean, usually you want to get out there. Get out of there. Help me. Get back to work. He must be a really good dad. Really good dad. But anyway, Diamond Dallas Page, maybe. We might have him.
I don't know, Brent.
If not, we got a couple days left, man.
Yeah, I know. But
he's been making the rounds.
I'm not mad, just disappointed right now.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Don't be disappointed. We got hot takes, and we got more. We got Super Bowl 53. Back to the football talk. I'll give you a Patriots report from practice today. What's going on with Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and the 5-time world champion New England? That's next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Taking a drive to date night, or taking a drive for the kids to get to school, or how about taking the kids to practice? Do all of that in a new Hyundai from the new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on the new ESPN 690, and our family loves our Hyundai Santa Fe. The new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville is now open for business. This new state-of-the-art Hyundai dealership was built from the ground up with you in mind. No matter what you do, day to day, take a drive with Hyundai. They offer a lifetime warranty that is good anywhere in the United States. And along with the low prices, exceptional service, and lifetime warranty, you know what else they have? A no-risk, no-pressure approach. If you are not 100% satisfied, you may return your vehicle in the first 7 days for your money back. The Hyundai you want, the service you deserve, all with Jenkins' exclusive lifetime warranty, no matter where you drive to. Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville.
David Lane talks about his experience with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
I've been active my whole life. I grew up here in Jacksonville, played a lot of athletic sports. Over time, my body kind of broke down and I wasn't able to perform some of the activities that I used to. I've had 4 different surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic. I think the staff at Southeast Orthopedic is second to none. The doctors are great. The therapy is second to none. It's been a great experience.
Get your body moving again with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Find out more at se-ortho.com.
News 104.5 WOKV is now exclusively on 104.5 FM. News 104.5 WOKV is where you'll find the latest breaking news, first alert storm center coverage, and traffic alerts. 690 is where you'll find the home of the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN 690, featuring Golick and Wingo in the morning, Dan Lebitard, and Stephen A. Smith. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. This is ESPN 690. This is Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau
on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Well, what you said was it would be like taking a trip to the North Pole and finding out that there wasn't Santa there. But on your trip to the North Pole, you found out Santa was there.
Well, I've never been to the North Pole, actually, but one can assume that's where he has his workshop and everything, right?
He's still docked up there.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Except on one day.
Yeah. Oh, we have pizza coming in.
Now we have pizza.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and put 2 of those down. Excuse me. Yeah, you can put it down.
Yeah, you get your food order in. I'm sure everybody in their car will wait and listen.
Well, hey, Brent. It's priorities, man. I'm starving. Anyways.
All right.
Hang on. I'm just gonna finish up my whiteboard here.
Yeah. Don't do anything crazy on the whiteboard now.
I'm not.
All right, welcome back here to Radio Row Super Bowl 53. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Stuart Weber, Marcel Robinson. By the way, we'll be on TV tonight, 6:50. I think we're going to put the whole crew on TV tonight. Going to sneak it into 2.5 minutes on FOX30. Then later tonight, 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock, join us again here from Super Bowl 53, along with Dan Hicken back in the station. And this all points toward, on TV side, a Saturday special at 7 o'clock, Making of a Champion. Rams, Patriots. We'll also have some Jags in there, maybe some special interviews. We have a story on Telvin Smith as well. Recently, Marcel Robinson actually put a microphone on Telvin Smith and followed him back to his old neighborhood. Pretty cool stuff with Telvin Smith. That will be on the show. 7 o'clock, CBS47 and FOX30 on Saturday night. And then all day long, Super Bowl 53 on CBS47. I'm getting the numbers mixed up. Kickoff 6:30. Of course. What do you think you would be feeling as a player this week? Like, what are, you guys all get butterflies and stuff. Everybody says that, right? You get a little anxious.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, that's you're not living if you don't get it.
Yeah, that's human.
But would you shut off the outside world? Would you try to keep everything as normal as you do? Call mama or whatever on a Wednesday if you normally did that during a week. How would you approach it, and what do you think you'd be feeling 5 days away from the biggest game of your life?
I think you kind of said it right there. We're creatures of habit, so I would try my best to keep things like I would every single week. Obviously, being at the Super Bowl, having the media here and stuff like that, you're not going to have that same week that you have in a regular season, but I would still try to keep it as much as possible to that regular season. And obviously, the butterflies and being anxious, I mean, that's all part of the game. Being on the biggest stage, on the grandest scale, is going to add a little more to that, obviously. But at the same time, I think I'll take it all in, too. I mean, I think, and that's what you see Brady doing now, is sometimes with players that we get all wrapped up with the wanting to win, and obviously winning is it's the only thing, as Vince Lombardi used to say. But at the same time, this is a great atmosphere. It's a great time. So if I was a player, I'd definitely be taking it in and just enjoying the moment as well.
All right, some important notes from Patriots practice. First practice here in Atlanta on this afternoon. They are camped out, by the way, at Georgia Tech. That's where they are practicing this week. They used Georgia Tech's indoor practice facility because it was chilly. By the way, the commissioner said no word yet, and it's his call on if the roof will be open on Sunday or not. It should be 62 degrees. Not sure about the precipitation. My guess is it's closed. They thought about showing off that roof and the new technology. I don't think they're going to mess with that. I think the roof will be closed during that game. We'll see. That's my guess. But anyway, Patriots practicing at Georgia Tech, indoor practice facility, about a 90-minute session. Defensive tackle Malcolm Brown limited with a calf injury. There's your injury report, meaning most everybody else is pretty healthy. It says Patriots practiced at 12:30, ran some 11-on-11 plays against a scout team, mimicking the Rams personnel. And how about this? This is important details here. A few up-tempo plays. The team piped in Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine.
Interesting.
Guns
N' Roses.
Was there a lot of music at practice when you played, or was that after when Gus came?
No, so when we had Jack, no, there wasn't.
Yeah, I don't remember music.
Del Rio didn't have music at all. Malarkey did.
He did?
Yeah, Malarkey had it. So I'll be honest with you, and there's two schools of thought here. I think there's the old school of thought where it's like, well, you're not going to have music during the game when you actually play in a game, so why would you play it at practice? But to me, and then obviously the playlist varied. I remember Dave Garrard requested Zach Brown Band Chicken Fried.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, so
sing that to the kids.
Yeah, so we have that and everything in the locker room. But I think music is a crucial part. Especially during those training camp days. You're a little sore, you're a little tired. It's early in the morning. You're not really feeling it. All of a sudden, you play a little Wheezy or something like that, and you can get right in the zone right away. So I was a big fan of music.
All right, I can't imagine. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
Having music it would be a little fun, give a little liveliness.
Well, and I'll tell you another thing too. So Jack didn't have music, but he would, because say we're playing like in Indianapolis, where they play inside, so it's a louder atmosphere, obviously, and they're doing really well at the time. So the crowd engagement was very loud. Jack would just take a giant speaker and just play static for like 3 periods. So like you just have like this giant static coming over the speakers, deafening. Which kind of made practice a little. You almost like you're going crazy or something.
I bet.
Yeah.
Hey, the practice is so intense today. There's so many storylines coming out of the practice today that in the practice report, which is about a page long, the report, it's a pool reporter that does it, which is standard. They even had a paragraph on Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson were in attendance.
Riveting. Riveting information.
So there's not a ton of drama, news, whatever coming out. I mean, I guess it is something. You have to click in December and January, right? And that's what the Patriots did, really later, probably more toward mid-December, and then in January. And you have to click at the right time, but part of clicking at the right time is being healthy.
Yep.
And the opposite side of that is if you do have injuries, maybe they happened earlier in the year, so either guys came back or those young players or players that filled in have now a 6, 7, 8 game stretch under their belt, and they feel comfortable. And I think that's what kind of happened last year with the Eagles. I think that's what happens with a lot of teams. I mean, look at the Jags. The Jags went to the AFC Championship game last year. They had very few notable injuries. They hardly lost a game on their defense at all to injury. Might have been 2 games. I think Telvin Smith might have missed 2 games later in the year, if I'm not mistaken, because of a concussion, I think, if I remember correctly. And then, of course, they lost Allen Robinson at the outset of the year.
Yep.
But they stayed healthy. So it just shows you how much – everybody talks about luck being a part of the Super Bowl. It is. And the big thing is getting there means you have to probably get a few breaks. You have to create your own breaks. And one of the biggest breaks is being healthy.
Make your own luck, and no one's done that better than New England Patriots. I think a testament to the Patriots is the fact that, every team's going to have injuries, but the guys that they bring in for depth, I mean, I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, their offensive line had like 10 or 11 different combinations throughout the year. It was because guys were getting hurt, and they'd plug and play a different guy, and they wouldn't miss a beat. So obviously luck has something to do with it, but at the same time, I mean, if you do have the injuries, you got to have the system in place. You got to have the players in place to step up, and the Patriots have always done that.
All right, Kuz, I'm going to put you on the spot, buddy. If you're back there, you got some hot takes ready?
Oh, I always have hot takes ready.
All right, let's do. We'll probably bridge the next break here, but that's okay. We have time.
All right,
take it away.
All right, so my first one's actually from Tony Romo. He made a prediction on the score of the Super Bowl game.
Huh.
He said it's going to be 28-24, and I think whoever has 24 is going to end with the ball but not score.
Oh, very good prediction by Tony Romo. And by the way, he needs to predict because that's what he's done so well in the booth.
Yes.
Whoever has the ball will not score. Okay, I can buy that. By the way, my prediction, I probably should wait till Friday. That's what everybody does. But, I'm feeling 34-24
Yep.
Patriots.
So are you taking the Patriots for a bet?
So that's it's not
Okay.
official yet, but I'm
Okay.
feeling that. So I can buy Tony Romo's prediction because, in my view, the Patriots are either up or go ahead. The Rams get the ball back, down 4 points, and Jared Goff can't get it done. The Patriots defense holds, and world champs once again. You buy it?
I think it's going to be a little more of a higher scoring game than what he predicted. If history is any indication, I mean, usually these Super Bowl games, especially with the Patriots, are pretty high scoring. You know, and I think, especially with the Rams, I mean, they have a pretty high-powered offense.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously the Patriots can keep up with them. If the Patriots plan on winning the game, they're going to have to. So I think the Patriots can get it done for sure. And I can see Goff having the ball and just not be able to come through. But at the same time, I mean, if the Rams are playing good defense, they're stopping the run, and it's a close game, and Brady has the ball. I don't see Brady just not leading that fourth quarter drive to win the game. So I think the score is going to be higher, and I think if Brady's got the ball, they're going to win the game. If Goff has the ball, probably not. To last up.
You're a defensive guy.
Yeah.
Take this from the perspective of, okay, if you're rooting for a team or if you're playing on a team.
Mm-hmm.
You want the ball at the end, or you want to be on defense at the end?
I think obviously you want to be on defense. You know, I mean that's your position.
You do.
Yeah. I want to be on defense. I want to win the game. I want to get that sack, the strip sack, to win the game for my team, and that's the mentality you got to have. It's always kind of interesting because, you know, over these playoffs we talked a lot about going for it on fourth down. Well, it's kind of a catch-22 because if you go for it on fourth down, you're not really having a lot of faith in your defense, right? To stop the opponent. But at the same time, being a guy that, you know, Jack Del Rio would always go for it on fourth down, I liked it when he did because it kind of showed the fact that, hey, my coach is trying to win and everything. He still has faith for us on defense, but he's trying to win the game. So I think I think it's good either way.
All right,
Yeah.
We're going to continue Hot Takes, Coos, but we got Diamond Dallas Page ready to sit down in a moment.
Oh,
So
it's
let's take
on.
a quick timeout if we can, early timeout. When we come back, Austin Lane.
Do not embarrass me, Brent, I swear.
His day is about to pick up in a big way.
Oh, don't embarrass me, Brent, please.
This isn't 15 minutes of wrestling. This guy's fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like I said, if you have to go to use the bathroom, go get some Pizza Hut
No,
over
don't-
there, man.
no.
You're good.
Oh,
Hey,
no, man, I'm listening.
Me and Dallas can take over for a little bit. It's not a big deal.
All right, it's next.
Throw the
on
keys over.
It's next on Action Sports Jacks on the radio, ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter update.
I'm Aaron, and the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell under fire still for the missed call in the NFC Championship game that cost the Saints a trip to Atlanta. It's possible a new rule could be made this offseason by the competition committee, but Goodell says the issue's been debated for nearly 20 years and nothing has changed.
They have not voted for that in the past. It doesn't mean that we won't. It's something that we're going to put to the competition committee. But the reality is that's been at least an opposition philosophically for many clubs.
We're now 4 wake-ups away from Super Bowl Sunday, which you can find this weekend live on CBS47 Action News Jacks. The NFL rumor mill is churning a little bit harder today after a reported lunch between Jets All-Pro safety Jamal Adams and Le'Veon Bell's agent. Adams denies he was doing any recruiting, despite publicly tweeting already that Bell should make his way to New Jersey. And for what it's worth, Steelers star wideout Juju Smith-Schuster on ESPN earlier today, he says he'd love to have Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown back in the huddle for 2019. The Warriors and Lakers do battle on the hardwood this Sunday night right here. Tip-off at 8 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Hi, my name is Connor. I live at the Rodeheaver Boys Ranch with about 50 other boys. We come to the ranch because we can't live at home or we just don't have one.
Rodeheaver Boys Ranch doesn't receive any government support for childcare and raises funds by auctioning off donated vehicles every month. If you have a boat, car, motorcycle, RV, truck, or tractor in any condition, Google Boys Ranch Palatka to donate. If you don't have a vehicle, cash donations are accepted. Google Boys Ranch Palatka.
Remember, it's better to build boys than to mend men.
Parents, there's a better option for your child's development and education. Seacoast Christian Academy is a private school here in Jacksonville that offers challenging and engaging educational opportunities. Focused on a college preparatory curriculum that is backed by strong Christian values, they take on children as young as a year old through 12th grade. Right now, Seacoast Christian Academy is enrolling students who have the Step Up Scholarship. Step Up is an income-based scholarship program that most don't realize they qualify for. And Seacoast Christian Academy is accepting applications right now. For more information, call them or click SeacoastChristianAcademy.com.
Hey, it's Bill with Bill Fenwick Plumbing. Do you have to wait a long time for hot water to reach your bathroom in the morning? Some of our customers have told me they turn their water on in their bathroom, go make the bed, brush their teeth, and finally the hot water reaches the end of the house. Not only does it waste water, but it also adds additional water and sewer charges on your utility bill. We can now install a pump that monitors your hot water usage daily and moves water down to that side of the house when you need it, without the wait. To schedule or find out more, call us or go to BillFenwickPlumbing.com.
All offers are with approved credit and not a conjunction. See dealer for complete details. Start something new sales event. There's no better way to start the new year than getting a great deal on the cars, trucks, and SUVs you love to drive at Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Arlington. Choose from our great selection of Dodge Charger or Challenger and save up to $6,000 off MSRP. Drive home in a new Jeep Renegade and save up to $7,000. Get a new Jeep Cherokee from just $19,988. Every new Ram truck is sale priced at thousands below what you'd expect to pay. Pick the one you want and save up to $12,000. Our lenders want to make you a new car loan today, even if you have less than perfect credit. See all our inventory at number1cjd.com. We're celebrating our best year ever. Join us for one of our best sales ever. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Arlington. No crazy sales tactics, just honest and friendly service you can count on. 9600 Atlantic Boulevard, across from the Regency Square Mall.
Hi folks, this is Dave Benyon with Zero Res. Our logo stands for three things: people, process, and promise. Our people go through a rigorous Zero Res certification program and are all cleaning freaks. Our process uses no soaps, detergents, or shampoos, so it leaves no dirt-attracting residue. Our promise is simple: to always do the best job we can. Right now we have 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129, and we will clean a 4th room for free. That's right, the 4th room's on me. Check us out at ZeroResJacksonville.com. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
You watch Action Sports Jacks on CBS47 and FOX30.
Now Action Sports Jacks is on your radio. Broadcasting live from the ESPN690 Anajar and Levine studios. Here's your host, Brent Martineau.
Welcome back here to Radio Row Super Bowl 53. Brent Martineau along with Austin Lane, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. And I'm telling you, you won't hear much from me in this segment because I'm going to let Austin Lane just go nuts. He's like a kid in the candy store.
Go ahead.
It's like
give me the keys, man.
You pick
Give
your
me the
favorite
keys.
athlete. It's like meeting this guy. Diamond Dallas Page joining us right now, and I know he's had a busy schedule, but I think you even sensed Austin couldn't wait to get you on and talk a little wrestling and other things that have happened in your life and are going on because you said, I got to come over here and do this one before I go.
We met yesterday, and it was a real – there's certain guys you know, like, okay, this guy's my brother. You know, twin brothers from different mothers. And I said, you know, when I heard his passion and what he's doing right now, I'm like, you need to be doing my program. And I said, I will be there. And I've been going. I got here at 9:30. And you see what time it is. I have not stopped. I haven't eaten anything. I just kept going.
DDPY, DDP yoga.
Right, for people who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga.
Fair enough. So actually, I mean, speaking of DDPY yoga, my introduction to it was actually a couple years ago. They called it Oil for the Tin Man.
Yes.
And so what it was is basically if you get up in the morning, you're feeling stiff. You're playing football. I was feeling stiff, obviously.
Sure.
So I saw your video on YouTube, and I saw you talking about it, and I tried it, man, and I swear by it. I actually do it every single morning now.
That's pretty awesome.
Oil for the Tin Man.
Well, now I'm going to hook you up with the app because the app has, like, everything. I'm always reinventing it and adding more workouts to it and all different levels from, you know, laying in bed. You can't get out of bed. I got workouts for you.
Yeah.
Hey, workouts in a chair. I've got psycho extreme stuff. You know, plus I've got recipes and motivational. You'll get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
And you just had a book drop.
Yep. Positively Unstoppable, The Art of Owning It, which is really all about just that inner voice. And, you know, people, like, we all go through negative, what I call emotional gravity. But I try to work with people, and I do it all the time. My transformations that I have are people who look like seriously lost, people who've lost all hope. And I get them to stop that negative story, that inner voice, and create a different story, like what they're doing now. And it's not so much of I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be positive. I'll give you an example, and I talk about it in the book. I'm going to give you a quote, and tell me if you know who said this quote. The repetitions of affirmations leads to belief, and once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. Do you have any idea who said that?
I don't, but I'm going to go with, like, Nelson Mandela.
Okay, so let's break it down. I'll get to it. The repetitions of affirmations. Affirmations can be positive,
True.
Or they can be negative. And most people have negative repetition, affirmations in their head. Like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. Oh, I can't do this. Oh God, what if? And they give themselves so many excuses, and they bury themselves before anybody else has a chance to.
Yeah.
What Positively Unstoppable is all about is trying to give people an inner confidence. But it starts with a story you tell yourself. The repetitions of affirmations. Here would be a good affirmation. Before I walked out for my Hall of Fame ring in 2017, I could have been saying to myself, oh my God, I haven't been on TV in 17 years, 15 years, 20,000 people out there. Like, what if I screw up? What if I forget what I'm going to say? What if? Or I could have been saying what I was saying. This is going to be the best thing I've ever done. I'm going to blow people away. I'm going to make them laugh. I'm going to make them cry. I'm going to inspire them. That's the only voice that is going on in my head. It's the only voice I'll allow in my head. I went out there. It was the best thing I've ever done in my entire career. And it was exactly the way I saw it. Actually, it was better. So the repetitions of affirmations leads to belief. And once that belief becomes like that deep conviction, things begin to happen. Now, I'm going to tell you what the guy who said that quote's affirmation was. And when I tell you what his affirmation was, you're going to say exactly who it is. Like, how is that possible? Like, who can you even think of that said something over and over again that you know? But you do. And here's what he said. He said, I am the greatest. I'm the greatest of all time.
There we go.
Man.
We got it.
Feel like a butterfly, sting like a bee, man.
All right, take us on this.
But think about that. How many times did he have to say that
over and
for
over
you
again
to know that?
So, I mean, following your story, obviously I grew up a big wrestling fan, and your journey and the blueprint that you laid down is not a basic blueprint to be a pro wrestler. Far from it, man. And I'm sure if we had an hour show, we could talk all about that. But kind of summarize it up, I mean, you kind of got started in the game late.
I didn't try to even get into professional wrestling as a wrestler until I was 35 and a half.
That's insane. Yeah.
My career didn't take off until I was 40. That was in 96.
And you were a bouncer at that time? Is that right?
I was actually running nightclubs.
Yeah.
And I was bouncing when I was younger, but when you run the club, you're still a bouncer.
Is this like straight out of Roadhouse or something?
Yeah. But actually, it was really cool. It was higher end nightclubs at the time, at the end. But, my career took off when I was 40. That was in 96. 97 and 98, I was on top of the world. Mm-hmm. I was headlining. I headlined 13 out of 24, either main event pay-per-views or semi-main event.
Amazing.
I lived a dream on a ridiculous level, and then I blew my back out. And that's where DDP yoga comes from. Not like, when I'm done with my career, I think I'll come up with a yoga workout for people who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. It was like a necessity. Because first 42 years of my life, I was that guy. I wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga. But I just signed a multi-million-dollar deal. And all of a sudden you're getting paid, and that contract's going to go bye-bye. So I got to, figure out something. And my wife at the time, she, talked me into it. And I was so glad she did. Because in the first 3 weeks, I felt a significant difference. But it wasn't giving me everything. So I mixed the yoga positions with the rehabilitation techniques. I threw an old school calisthenics done with a slow burn movement. And then I added in what I call dynamic resistance, which is the flexing and engaging as you move. Think time under tension. In less than 3 months, I was back in the ring. At 42, they said my career's over. At 43, I'm the heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah,
pretty good.
I'm going to keep doing that the rest of my life.
Yeah, exactly. And make no mistake about it. I mean, it's changed people's lives for the better. A good example is Jake the Snake Roberts.
Sure.
He was kind of in a bad way. Obviously, he had a lot of addictions, and you basically opened the doors to your house and said, "Hey, come on in, and I'm going to get you right." And what was that process like? Because we were kind of joking about it, man. Like, I have some really good friends and everything. I'd do anything for them, but to have him stay in my house for a year, 2 years on end, man, I would go crazy.
It was sort of like a perfect storm because at that time, me and my old lady had broken up, who I was with for a couple of years. I was single. I could do it. I just bought this new home right here in Atlanta. I called it the accountability crib. Like today, It is an Airbnb. And I just literally put it like if someone's looking for a room for the Super Bowl, I mean, it's up there on Smyrna, which is like 20 minutes from here, Smyrna, Georgia. But it's like you could stay in the Jake the Snake Roberts suite or the Razor Ramon suite or the DDP suite.
Pretty good.
My wife Brenda put pictures everywhere, like of our Hall of Fame, with celebrities, with our matches. It's really, really, really cool. It's like a walk down memory lane going to the crib. Moving him in, it was. A lot of people look at I was bringing a junkie into my house, which kind of Jake was. Addiction is brutal, but I owed him. I know I don't have the life I have without him guiding me in certain places. Because I could have been a good mid-card level wrestler.
Yeah.
I could have been one of the best. He was one of the very best. And his psychology, everything. And he would watch my matches, and he'd make me figure it out, but he'd critique them.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I think it all changed for me personally with what I thought about you. NWO was trying to recruit you, man, and out of nowhere, Scott Hall got a diamond cutter, and I feel like you kind of made a name for yourself after that. That was a big defining moment of your career.
It was a huge defining moment, and I always say, when a defining moment comes along, you either define the moment or the moment will define you. And that was what really put me on the rocket. I was red hot with the fans, but they weren't pushing me or doing anything yet. And that was all my idea. I turned them down, the whole thing, everything. And those two guys, I created Scott Hall's gimmick. Like, he used to have blonde hair and a big walrus mustache.
Sure.
And I changed all that when he came in, when I managed him at the Diamond Stud. And when Nash was being put into the Hall of Fame, he said, I probably owed my beach house condo to Dally. He goes, because I almost quit this business a bunch of times. And he would say, don't you let them beat you. Yeah. You're going to be a huge star. I'd say it. That was my affirmation for him, because I knew that he was going to be.
I want to interrupt you 1 second. And for the folks listening in Jacksonville that aren't diehard wrestling fans. And right now, like, I watched it as a kid. I watched it as a kid. I watched all the greats. But when I hit a certain age, I didn't continue it.
Sure.
But what fascinates me about wrestling is how big it still is with my age group. 40-year-olds, 50, it's still huge. And now them passing it down to their kids. I knew it was big back then. I never imagined it would be still as big as it is. Why is that? And did you think it would transcend generations and all this time, these years later? I mean, there's $1 billion TV contract starting later this year
with
for
Fox.
Wrestling.
Yep, with Fox.
How amazing is that?
I mean, those are NFL numbers.
I know it.
Yeah.
So, and right now with All In, we're talking about Jacksonville.
All Elite
Tony
Wrestling.
Khan,
Yeah.
Getting the All Elite Wrestling, and Cody is like, you have to understand, Cody's like my nephew.
Yeah.
Dusty was my guy. Yeah. I mean, I was at his house, a lot, and I watched Cody grow up.
Oh yeah.
And, to see him in this spot, it's super special, and like anywhere he needs any, I've always been a mentor to him. When he wasn't his dad, it was me, his brother Dustin, but it's really crazy because I interviewed him a year ago and it was a year after he had left. And when you walk away from WWE because they don't see you're going to be anything but a mid-card guy, well, that's where you stay because you don't control it. He had to leave and go off on his own and then get with the Bucks. And, I always used to call Cody always Young Buck. That's what I called him.
Okay.
So kind of wild, just all of this.
Worked out, yeah.
But we talked a year ago and how crazy his life been in that last year. And then we talked again this Christmas. And it was just like what happened in a year. I tell people all the time. I just put it up on my Motivational Monday, up on my DDP Yoga Now app. Like, you never know what's going to happen. If you really put the work in and you're super passionate and you understand that the repetitions of positive affirmations in your brain, like, Cody didn't dream of this, but he dreamed something like this.
Yes.
I always say shoot for the stars. Keep your feet on the ground because sometimes you're going to end up a little to the left, a little to the right, a little bit under it. But there are times when you shoot for the stars and you blow right past them, like you head into another galaxy. It's way better than shooting for the curb and hitting it. You know, with what he did, you know, it's now we'll see what happens. And I have a lot of confidence in him because I know this kid. You know, I know when he was a sophomore in high school, and I was like, so, dude, when's football practice start? And he's like, I'm not going to play football this year. I'm like, what do you mean you're not going to play football? You love football. His old man coached football. He played for Texas, can't think, I think it was A&M. I'm not sure. No, West Texas State. West Texas State he played for. But I said, you love football? He goes, man, this year I'm going to focus on wrestling. He said, next year I'm going to win the state championship. I was like, wow, young buck. That's a bold statement. And he goes, I know. I said, you know what it's going to take? He said, work. I said, exactly. That sophomore year, he went like 18-12. Junior year, he went 48-0.
Wow.
I was there. I watched it. I flew back from L.A. for the finals. The next year is where he really learned the lesson, though. His 12th match, he lost. And I called him up like I was doing all the way through the last one. Hey, young buck, what's up, man? He's like, Dallas, I lost. I was like, thank God. He was like, what? I said, thank God, bro. He said, why would you say that? He got hot. I said, Cody, do you think you learn anything from winning? You learn from losing, brother.
Yeah.
You learn from falling down, making mistakes. See, all of this is what Positively Unstoppable is all about. I've been doing this my whole life. And when I can help mentor a kid who I think will go on to do whatever he wants to do, you know, and he's actually doing it right now, it's the greatest reward for me.
Especially with Cody, too, as a guy in the WWE who was a mid-card guy. You saw that he had the talent, but just, you know, his character didn't always go in the right direction for him. You could kind of tell that going to, you know, New Japan Pro Wrestling, kind of becoming the American Nightmare, kind of made a name for himself there, and now he's one of the biggest wrestlers in the world, obviously. Did you have a lot of input of your character and everything, or was it more of like you had the writers? I mean, did you have all the input in it? How'd that work?
In WCW, I was in total control of everything.
Which has got to be really cool feeling.
Yes, because you control your own destiny. Yes. When I went to WWE, that was not the case. And I was the enemy. You know, WCW, it was a real war. It wasn't like it was, the Monday Night Wars. No, it was a real war.
Sure.
And I didn't realize that till I got there. And that 6 months I was there was brutal for me. Now, I could have been a negative individual, and I could have talked trash because everybody tried to get me to do it. But that's not who I am. Like, I'm not going to change who I am because of how other people act or the situation. Like, Vince didn't put a gun to my head and say, sign this contract. He taught me the greatest lesson ever. I thanked him at the Hall of Fame, and I don't know if he took me seriously or not, but I said, dude, I just want you to know that, you know, you and everything that's happened in my career with here, you've made me so much better on so many different levels because he taught me you can't be afraid to walk away from the table when you know you have something legit. And I had it all and kind of gave it away. Well, when Shark Tank came to me and we were going to do the Shark Tank show, you have to do 5 different interviews. On the 5th interview, they want you to sign everything away. I wouldn't do it. And my business partner, Steve Yu, was like, bro, they want us to sign the contracts and send them in. I said, send them an email, tell them I love the show. I really appreciate the opportunity, but we're going to pass. He went, what? We've been working on this for 2 years. I'm like, yeah, but no one's ever going to control me, bro. Ever again. If I don't have total control, me and you making this business. We don't need Shark Tank. It will help, absolutely, but not if they control what we do. Like, we had to ask them for permission to do everything according to the contract. I was pulling in from Atlanta into Knoxville or into Chattanooga. Call from Steve, dude, I got the executive producer on the Shark Tank on the line. They want to fix this.
Well,
I learned that from Vince McMahon.
And we are controlled by time a little bit.
Yes,
but this is awesome. I'm loving it. I'm going to ask you a couple quick hitters.
Sure.
You, as a wrestler, better in front of a mic or in the ring with your skill set? Because it takes both, doesn't it?
Oh, moments.
No, I think I was equally as good in either at the, anywhere from 97 on. Just as good on both levels.
Is it a learned craft?
Oh,
this
hell
part of it?
yeah.
I mean, I know the wrestling is. I'm saying
no.
Personality, even as a younger guy, or
I could cut promos already, but not like when I got the Savage, and we were going nose to nose and promo to promo. It was magic, man, because I wasn't. When you start out, you want the break right away, and you want it to happen right now. It's like a lot of young kids; they want to be rich and famous. It's okay to want to be rich and famous. You just can't want it first.
Yeah.
You got to put the work in. Yeah. And in 94, I really felt like I was ready, and nothing was happening. 95, I got Most Improved Wrestler of the Year, but still nothing was happening. 96, I'm like, damn, man, this has got to happen. By the end of 96, when everything came together, and when 97 exploded, I was so ready. Like, there was no one going to get in my way. I was going to, and not burning people, I'll just step over them to get my stuff, to get what I need to do, but I'm going to make them the whole way.
And back in 98, you were the man. I mean, I remember watching, I think it was Bash at the Beach, you and Karl Malone versus Dennis Rodman, Hollywood Hogan, man, like that match sticks out so well because it was sports entertainment.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously those basketball players are big, and that was a big moment of my childhood for sure. So it's definitely cool.
It changed the face of a lot of things when Karl, Rodman, I love him, but he's Rodman, and wore dresses and all that stuff back then. So NBA was like, yeah, it's Rodman doing the freak show again. When Malone said he was in, Bob Costas got pissed, and I'm thinking, dude, you've worked for Vince before. How can you be like this?
True.
Karl Malone loved wrestling. He grew up with it. He loved it. And that's why he was living another dream, getting to be in the ring.
That's pretty cool. Hey, we're going to keep you a couple more minutes because I got a chance to do that. I just blew right through a break, but we got to be out in 6 minutes at the most. He's an MMA fighter now. He was a Jags player, played in the NFL. What other sport could you do if it wasn't wrestling? And this you didn't have MMA back then. I mean,
no,
could you do something like that?
Now, when you went over to MMA, you must have had a pedigree in something, whether it was wrestling
boxing,
or
actually.
boxing.
Yeah, boxing,
okay,
yeah.
You have to have, whether it's boxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. Like, you just can't say, I'm going to be an MMA fighter because that's the real deal. We're entertainers over here, but he can go out there and knock that guy out and make a name for himself. So it's a different animal. I think once you have that pedigree, then you have to start working on the other ones.
Yeah.
Like the first thing you had to work on is your ground game.
Of course.
Because that's where they're going to go. They're going to try to get him off his big ass, get him off his feet, and take him down.
Yeah.
And then if you don't know what you're doing, you're screwed.
Well, and I'll tell you what, too. I mean, coming from football to MMA, obviously in football, it's about explosiveness. So, I mean, it's high reps for a lot of weight.
Sure.
Well, when I switched over to MMA, I still had that ego where I had to bench press 315. I had to put that heavy weight on. Well, I was breaking down sparring because, obviously my arms are gassing out and everything. So when you talk about dynamic resistance, people get so caught up in the dumbbells and the heavy weights and things like that. You don't need a lot of weight. Sometimes you don't need any kind of weight. I mean, it's all about activating your body and everything, and that's what
Tiger was right. Activate the glutes.
Activate everything, and that's the great thing with your program is the fact that you preach activation, you preach activating everything, and you don't need to use these 100-pound dumbbells and things like that. You can still get strong. I assume you do it every single day, right?
I do
look
5 days.
You, man.
I do 5 days a week.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 60 in 2 months.
Yeah, and
60,
you're moving.
excuse me, 63.
Yeah.
In 2 months. And I'm going to look like this for a long time.
And you're moving around great, yeah.
Because I wake up and I do it in the morning. Like, you really need to come and spend a couple days with me.
Yeah.
And you'll love my wife. I mean, she's awesome. You just come and you stay with me.
Yeah.
And I'll work with you and help you take it to another level. Like Drew McIntyre, who's the new stud.
Yep.
In professional wrestling.
Absolutely.
He's about to get. He's not today, but he's really close to getting the monster push.
Yeah.
Like the Don push.
Oh, without a doubt.
Only because he's got it all.
Yep.
The look, the work, the promo. I mean, he's got it all.
He's big, which Vince loves.
Yes, and
loves
but
the big guys.
Bad dude. On top of that, like he's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
He drove 7.5 hours to come from Tampa to here in Atlanta to work with me for 4 hours turned around and drove back 7.5 hours.
That's dedication.
Then he came in 2 months ago, which is about 6 months in, and again, working with him. Then I took him to my voodoo doctor, this guy, Dr. Kenneth West, who's like ridiculous when it comes to being able to activate and turn on muscles that we've turned off through spasms. And he worked with him and helped him with his shoulder and his hip, and now he's these kids really work hard because they're wrestling 25 days a month.
Got like a minute to go. All Elite Wrestling, you think it's going to be a big hit?
I hope it will be. I believe that it's going to take time, and it looks like Tony Khan is in 100%, and it's just going to take some time because they have to figure everything out, I believe that if anybody can do it, I believe Cody has the ability. He was born to do this. So egos sometimes are really tough to handle in entertainment. And I just hope that everybody keeps their feet on the ground and remembers the big purpose. And the purpose is to change the world.
Any chance that we see you back in the ring for All Elite Wrestling in Jacksonville?
No, I'm
break some news for Tony Khan.
I'm really loyal to the WWE right now because they've done a lot for me. I got in the beginning, but in the last 8 years, they've been amazing to me. Who gets to wear? I go on WWE TV. I'm wearing DDP yoga shirt.
Yeah.
Who gets to do that?
Yeah, true.
I seen Brock and I seen Rock. That's it.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
They let me. They put over my stuff. I work with all the young guys there. Hunter and I have a great relationship, and it's. I will help Cody. I might show up at a spot and do something, but I can do that with WWE too. But I'm a WWE legend, and I want to stay. I'm just loyal to them. They've been very loyal to me lately. So,
Congratulations on all the success, and thanks. Day 13 of this guy for radio, and you made his career already.
Oh, yeah, man. This is a blast. Thank you very much.
Hey. And get positivelyunstoppable.com. It is, I should say, positivelyunstoppable.com. If you sign up for our challenge, 2 people all over North America will get the chance to win $1 million.
Wow, pretty cool.
4 months transformation.
Why not try?
Now we're
Can't
talking,
win if you don't play, right?
Absolutely.
Reds or Patriots?
I've got torn between both. Me and Todd Gurley are buddies.
Okay.
So I'm sort of pulling for them, but I'm a big Brady fan because I love what he's doing at 41. You know what I want to see? I want to see the games we just watched.
Yeah,
exactly.
Another good game. Go to overtime.
That's all I want. I want to see a great game. Made the best team win.
Diamond Dallas Page, fantastic stuff. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you making some time.
It's been your pleasure.
Yes, it has. Hey, that's Wednesday on Radio Row, Super Bowl 53, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. That was fun.
That was awesome. I have nothing else to say.
For Austin Lane, Stuart Weber, Marcel Robinson, I'm Brent Martineau. I'll see you on TV tonight, CBS47 and FOX30.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter update.
I'm Aaron, and word on the street is that New York Jets All-Pro safety Jamal Adams was spotted out having lunch with Le'Veon Bell's agent. The Steelers running back is expected to field a pretty big offer from Gang Green this offseason, but if Steelers wideout Juju Smith-Schuster had his way, the 2019 Steelers offense would look very familiar.
This is my opinion, obviously.